jockey's race to some extent, but definitely Storm Team is the favorite here as we go on course to watch them warm up. Joe, as we were going to take a quick look at them as they're galloping down to the start, talk to me a little bit about Maryland Horse Month.
Yeah, October is Maryland Horse Month, which sort of a governor's proclamation the other day, and it became more of Horse Month this year with the Preakness moving to October and some of the other things going on. They've rebuilt the course and both the eventing facility and the steeplechase and hopefully flat course at Fair Hill, and they were on pace, or we're going to have an international 3-day event here this time of year, and COVID pandemic basically shut all that down. It was a new 5-star event, which is the new highest level in eventing, and all those things were supposed to be taking place in October, and they kind of all became virtual or that type of thing. And it's great to see the state investment in a place like Fair Hill. I mean, the race course has been there since the 1930s, and to see the state step in, it's a beautiful turf course. It's a 1-mile oval, a little bit of a hill climb. It's 90 feet wide, so you can race over hurdles and on the flat on it. That they completely regraded it, expanded it, put show rings in the middle. And that's a big part of it. The state's investment of that and the state's commitment to the horse industry in Maryland is pretty cool. October's been obviously really busy in Maryland, even with some of the virtual or no spectator type events. I mean, the Preakness was last week, and might have been the race of the year with Swiss Skydiver hanging on to deny Authentic, and then we've had the Fasig-Tipton yearling sale right on the heels of that. There's the 5-star is going to be a virtual event that you can watch live stream, where they kind of introduce eventing to people, even though they're not here live watching it, but they can get an introduction and a feel for it, and it's just it's a cool commitment to see the state recognize the impact of the horse industry in the state. I'm a little biased because it's where I live, but it's nice to see, and we're really looking forward to getting on that turf course, hopefully with some horses training this fall at Fair Hill, and then racing next year. Whether it's the traditional May steeplechase meet that they have Memorial Day weekend, or if we can use some of the other racing dates. It's all going to be dependent on available purse money and whether any of the COVID restrictions start to get eased a little bit, and spectators can come and take part in it and sort of experience it. But great commitment from the state, and it's really fun to see, and it's important, and good for the industry, good for the game.
Yeah, I can agree with you more, and I knew that you'd have all the information since you're local. Interesting to see there the number 2 Super Saturday and the number 5 Curved Stones not practicing social distancing there as they were touching noses like, hey, I remember you. We've run against each other before. Anyway, we see the horses as they're lining up here at the start for this upcoming 4th race of the National Sporting Library and Museum Cup. Graham Alcock is the starter today. Will O'Keefe is the call. The race announcer, but as you watch the horses warming up, did anything stand out? I see number 4, Grand Manon, is very, very sweaty, but we know in steeplechasing that doesn't always mean a bad thing. But did you see anybody that caught your eye in the warm-up?
Now our field is on the start.
No, not necessarily. I mean, they're all kind of cool. I love to see them gallop across that field there. And to me, what's standing out now is just the setting. I mean, what a cool spot. They're over on the far side of Glenwood Park from the finish line and where most of the spectators are, and the cool old stone walls, and the fall colors just starting to show. And it's just a beautiful place. And it looks great. Looks like they've got it in great shape. And it should be a cool timber race. There's a lot of galloping here, and it'll be interesting to see how it all shakes out. Like you said, jockeys and tactics are going to matter, and which horses are able to switch off, I think, is probably going to be important, and then come with their run.
Well, we're going to watch right now. Will O'Keefe's going to take us through this 4th race.
And away they go. But they're going to have to come back again.
And we see them being called back again by Graham Alcock, again ensuring a very fair start for all. Not uncommon in jump racing, but seems to be popular today at Glenwood. But that's good that Graham is ensuring that everybody's getting a fair advantage when they break off here.
Yeah, they all look like they were in a hurry there all of a sudden. Which timber horses normally it's usually a very kind of unfolding type of start, but they all look like they were going to make a play for the lead. So it'll be interesting to see if that tipped anybody's hands. If jockeys go, oh, okay, did you see what he was doing there? I better be ready to go this time because he's going to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, Graham's doing the job. I mean, that's the point. And it wasn't the horses, the last horses in line were not going to get a fair start that time.
They're all in line?
Yeah.
And away they go on the extreme outside. Storm Team goes to the lead at once. Royal Rouge follows in second place with Curve of Stones. Codrington College now taking over second and moving a bit closer to the leader. Storm Team on top over Codrington College. Moving up on the inside is Mystic Strike. Super Saturday races in fourth place with Curve of Stones, Royal Rouge, Grand Manon, and Just Wait and See. You Just Wait and See completes the field. As they approach the next fence, Storm Team has the lead. Mystic Strike races in second place. Super Saturday on the inside of Codrington College. Grand Manon moves up on the inside, and on the outside, Curve of Stone with Royal Rouge there also. Just Wait and See is content to let the others set the pace. They head now towards the third fence. Storm Team on top by a little bit more than 2 lengths. Mystic Strike follows in second place. They're bunched up in third, fourth, fifth, and sixth place. Royal Rouge is among that group. Super Saturday is also with Grand Manon. Heading towards the fourth fence. Storm Team on the outside with the lead. Mystic Strike races closest to him. And we've lost a rider. That was Codrington College losing his rider. Storm Team with lead. Mystic Strike is followed by Super Saturday. Royal Rouge on the outside. Grand Manon is there also with Curve of Stones and Just You Wait and See. Storm Team on top. Storm Team goes down the hill all alone on the front end, but he's got 3 of them very close to him in his shadow. Royal Rouge on the outside, Super Saturday in the middle, Mystic Strike is there also. Grand Manon, Curve of Stones, Just Wait and See follows as they head towards the next fence. Storm Team with the lead. Royal Rouge and Skylar McKenna have moved into second place. Mystic Strike in third. Super Saturday on the outside of Grand Manon. Curve of Stones and Just Wait and See completing the field. But it's only about 7 lengths front to back as they straighten away down the back side. Mystic Strike is now taking the lead. Here comes Storm Team back to the front. On the outside is Royal Rouge jumping in third place. He's followed by Grand Manon, Super Saturday, Curve of Stones, and Just Wait and See completes the field as they've still got a long ways to go. Storm Team has made most of the running. Mystic Strike is on the inside of Royal Rouge, and at the fence they continue that way. Storm Team with the lead. Mystic Strike on the inside vies for second place with Royal Rouge, and they're both moving a bit closer. Just Wait and See has now made a move up on the outside to move into about 5th place with Grand Manon wrong side, and Curve of Stones completes the field. Storm Team still on top. Royal Rouge closest to him in second place. Mystic Strike follows in third. Super Saturday, Just Wait and See, and Chris Gracie on the outside. Grand Manon and Curve of Stones. Over the next they go. Still a long ways to go. Storm Team making most of the running here. Royal Rouge sitting right behind them. Maybe 2 1/4 lengths separates them. Mystic Strike and Super Saturday on the outside. And at the next fence, it continues to be Storm Team, but he falls at the fence. Storm Team going down there. Royal Rouge and Mystic Strike now going to the front. Super Saturday is also there. Just Wait and See. And Grand Manon on the inside completes our field. Skylar McKenna has gone to the lead on Royal Rouge. Mystic Strike follows in second place. Super Saturday, Gerard Galligan now taking over second as Mystic Strike has the lead under Thomas Garner. Racing down the hill, it's Mystic Strike in the blue silks. Pink Silks on Royal Rouge as they race up to Saturday, vying first, moving up on Super. They're also just wait and see as they race towards the next fence. Royal Rouge on top, Super Saturday, just wait and see. Mystic Strike on the outside, Curve of Stones, and Grand Manon completing our field as they gallop up the hill. The last time to go around, Mystic Strike and Tom Garner have now gone to the front. Royal Rouge regaining the lead on the outside. Super Saturday going well in third. At the next fence, Mystic Strike regains the lead. Royal Rouge follows in second place. Super Saturday in third. Just wait and see. Races in fourth place. Grand Manon completes the field. Curve of Stones now moving up on the outside. You could throw a big blanket over the first 7 or 6 in this field. Royal Rouge, Mystic Strike, Curve of Stones, and Barry Foley have now made a move from the rear of the field towards the lead. Super Saturday is dropping back just a little bit. Just wait and see is there also. And Grand Manon. They race into the final 3/8 of a mile. Mystic Strike has the lead. Royal Rouge follows in second place. Here comes Curve of Stones up on the outside. Super Saturday, just wait and see. And Grand Manon heading towards the last fence. Mystic Strike running and jumping on the front end. Royal Rouge follows in second. Mystic Strike, Royal Rouge, Curve of Stones, Super Saturday, just wait and see. And Grand Manon heading towards the final fence. Mystic Strike jumps with the lead. Royal Rouge trying to come back on the inside and maybe making up a little ground, but he better hurry if he's going to catch Mystic Strike. Curve of Stones now making a move up on the outside with Royal Rouge alongside. Mystic Strike drifting a little bit to the outside. Curve of Stones taking the short route on the inside, and Royal Rouge trying to get there. It looks like Curve of Stones coming from off the pace to win the National Sporting Library and Museum Cup.
Boy, a lot of changing happening there very late in the race, but unfortunate to see Storm Team go down with Mikey Mitchell. Looked like they both got up shortly after that fall. But what a great race, Joe. I mean, we saw a lot of horses kind of back and forth there on the lead, but they really sailed over that last fence, and impressive close by Curve of Stones. As I mentioned before, he would be the horse that would potentially take advantage of a hot pace and sit in the back and come closing at the end, and certainly he did. I'm not sure why Tom Garner went so wide there coming off that elbow, but as we look again here, he's got the lead as they come into that turn for home. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I'm sure he's not. Yeah, he's trying to keep him in. I don't know why. Mystic Strike certainly drifted out, which opened the door. Curve of Stones kind of worked his way into the race on the back, but then dropped back again and didn't look. I thought he had flattened out. It wasn't going to keep coming, and then between the last fence and the elbow, he got back in the race and then took advantage of the horse drifting out. And cool effort. I mean, again, these timber horses are old pros, and it's fun to watch them have their day type of thing. Good effort for Mystic Strike, just not just second best today based on the way it all turned out. Curve of Stones, cool story. David Bork, obviously one of the smaller stables on the circuit to come up with a win, and cool effort. He just kept finding more. Again, I thought he was kind of finished coming off the back. He made a run to reach position, but then flattened out and was sort of looked like he was staying on third, but really dug in late. Cool effort.
I love this horse. He's such a beautiful dappled gray, but he just looks such a picture, always really, really pretty as an eye catcher, and with those navy blue silks, he just looks always as a head turner in the paddock and whatnot, but even more so now as the winner as he's making his way towards the winner's enclosure. The unofficial results, of course, of the fourth race, the National Sporting Library and Museum Cup, $25,000 guaranteed here. Competitive race. Unfortunately, Storm Team did not finish the race. He had a fall. But turns out to be Curve of Stones' day, and he did it well. So we're going to go ahead and take you back to the start, and we'll catch the race replay brought to you by Bruton Street US.
And away they go on the extreme outside. Storm Team goes to the lead once. Royal Rouge follows in second place with Curve of Stones. Codrington College now taking over second and moving a bit closer to the leader. Storm Team on top over Codrington College. Moving up on the inside is Mystic Strike. Super Saturday races in fourth place with Curve of Stones, Royal Ruse, Grand Manon, and Just Wait and See. You Just Wait and See completes the field. As they approach the next fence, Storm Team has the lead. Mystic Strike races in second place. Super Saturday on the inside of Codrington College. Grand Manon moves up on the inside, and on the outside, Curve of Stone with Royal Ruse there also. Just Wait and See is content to let the others set the pace. They head now towards the third fence. Storm Team on top by a little bit more than 2 lengths. Mystic Strike follows in second place. They're bunched up in third, fourth, fifth, and sixth place. Royal Ruse is among that group. Super Saturday is also with Grand Manon. Heading towards the fourth fence, Storm Team on the outside with the lead. Mystic Strike races closest to him, and we've lost a rider. That was Codrington College losing his rider. Storm Team with the lead. Mystic Strike is followed by Super Saturday, Royal Ruse on the outside. Grand Manon is there also with Curve of Stones, and Just You Wait and See. Storm Team on top. Storm Team goes down the hill all alone on the front end, but he's got 3 of them very close to him in his shadow. Royal Ruse on the outside, Super Saturday in the middle, Mystic Strike is there also. Grand Manon, Curve of Stones, Just Wait and See follows as they head towards the next fence. Storm Team with the lead. Royal Ruse and Skylar McKenna have moved into second place. Mystic Strike in third. Super Saturday on the outside of Grand Manon. Curve of Stones and Just Wait and See completing the field. But it's only about 7 lengths front to back as they straighten away down the back side. Mystic Strike is now taking the lead. Here comes Storm Team back to the front. On the outside is Royal Ruse jumping in third place. He's followed by Grand Manon, Super Saturday, Curve of Stones, and Just Wait and See completes the field as they've still got a long ways to go. Storm Team has made most of the running. Mystic Strike is on the inside of Royal Ruse, and at the fence they continue that way. Storm Team with the lead. Mystic Strike on the inside vies for second place with Royal Ruse, and they're both moving a bit closer. Just Wait and See has now made a move up on the outside to move into about 5th place with Grand Manon wrong side, and Curve of Stones completes the field. Storm Team still on top. Royal Ruse closest to him in second place. Mystic Strike follows in third. Super Saturday, Just Wait and See, and Chris Gracie on the outside. Grand Manon and Curve of Stones. Over the next they go. Still a long ways to go. Storm Team making most of the running here. Royal Ruse sitting right behind them. Maybe 2 1/4 lengths separates them. Mystic Strike and Super Saturday on the outside. And at the next fence, it continues to be Storm Team, but he falls at the fence. Storm Team going down there. Royal Ruse and Mystic Strike now going to the front. Super Saturday is also there. Just Wait and See. And Grand Manon on the inside completes our field. Skylar McKenna has gone to the lead on Royal Ruse. Mystic Strike follows in second place. Super Saturday and Gerard Galligan now taking over second as Mystic Strike has the lead under Thomas Garner. Racing down the hill, it's Mystic Strike in the blue silks, pink silks on Royal Ruse as they race up Saturday, vying first, moving up on Super. They're also Just Wait and See as they race towards the next fence. Royal Ruse on top, Super Saturday, Just Wait and See. Mystic Strike on the outside, Curve of Stones, and Grand Manon completing our field as they gallop up the hill. The last time to go around, Mystic Strike and Tom Garner have now gone to the front. Royal Ruse regaining the lead on the outside. Super Saturday going well in third. At the next fence, Mystic Strike regains the lead. Royal Ruse follows in second place. Super Saturday in third. Just Wait and See races in fourth place. Grand Manan completes the field. Curve of Stones now moving up on the outside. You could throw a big blanket over the first 7 or 6 in this field. Royal Ruse, Mystic Strike, Curve of Stones, and Barry Foley have now made a move from the rear of the field towards the lead. Super Saturday is dropping back just a little bit. Just Wait and See is there also. And Grand Manan. They race into the final 3/8 of a mile. Mystic Strike has the lead. Royal Ruse follows in second place. Here comes Curve of Stones up on the outside. Super Saturday, Just Wait and See, and Grand Manan. Heading towards the last fence. Mystic Strike running and jumping on the front end. Royal Ruse follows in second. Mystic Strike, Royal Ruse, Curve of Stones, Super Saturday, Just Wait and See, and Grand Manan. Heading towards the final fence. Mystic Strike jumps with the lead. Royal Ruse trying to come back on the inside and maybe making up a little ground, but he better hurry if he's going to catch Mystic Strike. Curve of Stones now making a move up on the outside with Royal Ruse alongside. Mystic Strike drifting a little bit to the outside. Curve of Stones taking the short route on the inside, and Royal Ruse trying to get there. It looks like Curve of Stones coming from off the pace to win. The National Sporting Library.
And we just watched the replay of the fourth race. The official results there on your screen. The number 5 Curve of Stones, owned by S. Rebecca Shepherd, trained by David Bork, and ridden by his regular jockey Barry Foley. Very patient ride by Barry, and took advantage of Mystic Strike drifting there on the turn as they were coming into this stretch, and snuck up there and went past Skylar McKenna on Royal Ruse to win this race. And really nice victory for Curve of Stones. We knew he liked this race course. We thought he would take advantage of a speed set race early on, and certainly he did. Good thing to note that the 2 jockeys that did come down earlier in this race both are up and okay. Darren Nagel got popped off of Codrington College early on, and of course Mikey Mitchell and Storm Team crashed through one of the timber fences, and both of them got up as well. So that's good news as we see Curve of Stones heading back through the paddock now on his way to the test barn for his connections. What a nice win for that team there, Joe.
Yeah, David Bork's a cool story. I mean, a smaller trainer on the circuit. We always hear about Jack Fisher, Leslie Young, Jonathan Shepard, the big time steeplechase barns, and David's only got a handful of horses, and that horse has done really well for him over the years. I mean, he's won over hurdles, won over timber. That was a cool effort. I mean, he kept digging. It would have been easy to kind of if for the horse to get a little tired when the real running there started, and he just kind of kept going, kept plugging, and then took advantage of a horse who drifted out, and stayed on and saw out the trip and picks up a nice stakes win. Really, like a lot of thoroughbreds, he's got there's a long career. He ran on the flat his early days with Jonathan Shepard before he ever learned to jump, it looks like, and was claimed from him by Jamie Ness, and then he went to Marcus Vitale, and then he ended up in David's barn as a jumper, and just cool to see. He's bred in Virginia by Audley Farm, so he's back in Virginia, and was once a $160,000 Keeneland September yearling, and here he is all these years later still winning races. So fun horse. I think it's good for the game when people like this win races, and it kind of shows that winners can come from anywhere, and it's again, it's good for the game, and it spreads these wins out a little bit, and congratulations to the Connections for pulling that off.
Inspiring indeed. And of course the race results brought to you by Brown Advisory. We one other thought really quickly on Skylar McKenna on Royal Ruse. She finished 3rd here. She found herself on the lead as she was stalking Storm Team, and then he crashed through that fence. But Skylar riding really well. What was your thought on her ride today on Royal Ruse?
Yeah, that again, another horse that ran really well. I mean, he ended up in fighting it out for the win, really, based on when Mystic Strike drifted out a little bit, and maybe his timber, his lack of timber experience came into play a little bit. I mean, compared to Curve of Stones, he hadn't been doing it quite as long, but good effort. And again, he won over the Pennsylvania Hunt Cup course last year, and those bigger fences, more stamina testing type places might do him a little, serve him a little better than Middleburg would. But a young timber horse, sort of on the improve, and a good ride by Skylar. She certainly held her own in there against those guys, and we've seen her do that now for 16, 17-year-old jockey to kind of stay in there against people with a lot more experience and do a good job is, again, good for the game and good to see.
And she maintains Royal Ruse's ability to stay in the top 3 as he continues into his timber career. Great racing there in the Timber Stake. We have a lot more racing coming up. The Daniel C. Sands Cup is our next race on the card, but we are going to go to another commercial break, and we will come back with more great racing from Glenwood Park. Stay tuned for more.
EasyFix products are designed to perform. Leading horsemen worldwide choose durable products from EasyFix for their quality, safety, and ease of use. Their internationally approved racecourse-style hurdles have the look and feel of natural fences and are used at top schooling grounds and race meets in the U.S. and abroad. Also from EasyFix, stable solutions for top performance in stalls, wash bays, and walkways. To learn more, visit our website, safetyfence.com.
Brown Advisory is proud to support the National Steeplechase Association and the Virginia Fall Races. Through investment performance, strategic advice, and the highest level of service, we are committed to making a material and positive difference in the lives of the individuals, families, and institutions we are privileged to serve, and for the communities in which we work and live. We offer a special thanks to the volunteers, horsemen, and the Virginia Fall Race Committee for making today possible in support of the Inova Loudon Hospital Foundation and the Glenwood Park Trust.
This November, the thrill of thoroughbred racing returns with Steeplechase of Charleston. Enjoy world-class athleticism, fierce competition, and an afternoon of intimate gatherings with friends and family. Located at the beautiful Stono Ferry Racecourse. The 2020 event offers additional safety enhancements like increased sanitation stations and touchless checkout in our open-air vendor village. And you'll notice some extra space surrounding your tailgate this year to enjoy a socially distant gathering with loved ones while cheering on your favorite horses in 5 high-stakes races. Join us on November 15th for this quintessential celebration of fall in the Low Country. Steeplechase of Charleston.
Today's live stream is being brought to you by Virginia Equine Alliance, Brown Advisory, Charleston's The Post and Courier, and Bruton Street US.
And welcome back to the Glenwood Park, where we are watching the Virginia Fall races. Of course, Joe Clancy and myself, Megan Connolly, coming to you from the Post and Courier Studios, nationally based, as we are up for the upcoming 5th race. And this is the Daniel C. Sands Cup. And Joe, I know you know the history of Daniel C. Sands with regards to Glenwood Park. But for those of you who don't know, Daniel C. Sands actually was the founder of Middleburg's historical Glenwood Park. He was the owner of this property, one of several farms that he owned back in the 1800s anyway, and was absolutely integral in the development and conservation of this property. And of course, that's been a longstanding legacy that this race course has been under conservation. And there are a lot of people who are very, very involved in keeping the legacy of Glenwood Park alive and well. And that's why we're allowed to have these amazing races there twice a year. It is absolutely a glorious place, glorious Glenwood. I know they call Goodwood over in England glorious Goodwood, but we call this glorious Glenwood because it is absolutely stunning race course. So Joe, we're up to the 5th race. It is the maiden race for 3 and 4-year-olds. Purse is only $10,000 on this one versus the $15,000 we saw in the first 2 maiden races. But they too are going 2 1/8 miles. We're looking at the Virginia Equine Alliance race entries right now. There aren't any changes in here, so we do have a full field of 10 going postward. And again, these are 3 and 4-year-olds. We only have 1 3-year-old in here, and that's the 3 Coco Star, a son of Kitten's Joy out of a War Chant mare bred in Kentucky. But everybody else is 4. And of course, the one that I think all eyes are going to be on is the number 10 Junior Senator, owned by Irv Naylor, trained by Billy Meister, ridden today by Archie McCauley. But Joe, tell everybody why Junior Senator is going to be an eye catcher today.
His big brother, Senior Senator, which should be a name most steeplechase fans recognize. He won 3 Maryland Hunt Cups and was a timber legend. And the Junior Senator has been running on the flat for his breeder, Charles McGill, and he was claimed by Billy Meister as a timber prospect, but he's going to get some hurdle action first and see how it goes from there. He's by Smarty Jones. They're both, of course, out of Queen Kenilott. And it will be interesting to see if some of that ability transfers over. You would think if family means anything, stamina shouldn't be an issue. He should love the extended distance of a steeplechase. And, maybe he's not quite as fast as some of the others, but he was also good enough on the flat. I mean, he won on the flat and, was 3rd at Laurel in his most recent start. And, so maybe there's a little more there speed-wise, where Senior Senator didn't really do much over hurdles and switched to timber as a young horse, and then obviously excelled at it. And Junior Senator will try to probably do a little hurdle racing first, and maybe delay that timber career at least for a little bit. It's kind of cool to see the name. The name makes you laugh and smile, and obviously the connection is there when you see that. And it'll be. This is kind of a fun race to look at real newcomers into it. I mean, horses are 3 and 4, very little steeplechase experience at all, and these are the maiden races in the first 2 maiden races were for older horses, and maybe they were a little more proven and had a little more form. This group you don't know that much about, so you're trying to play connections or pedigree, like in the case of Junior Senator.
Yeah, and he, as you mentioned, he's been running on the flat. He ran on the flat. His last start was June 1st at Laurel, and he went 1 mile and a 16th on the grass, and he was just sitting off the lead there, literally half of a length head, and was 3rd, only beaten a length. So he then came back and had a 3 furlong workout at Pimlico back in July, so we haven't seen anything from him since then. He has not been on the point-to-point entries, so it'll be good to see him finally get a start over hurdles. I know he was entered back this summer, but then he was scratched. And in talking with Billy Meister back in June about this horse, he just couldn't believe that this horse, who was the half-brother to such a legend, and Meister's, of course, the family themselves, longstanding fox hunters and timber racing family, he just couldn't get over the fact that this horse was running for tags, so he just jumped in and claimed him. And hopefully the story has a long, happy way to go with Junior Senator, as we're all such fans of Senior Senator, who unfortunately lost his life this year to this year to colic. But anyway, other horses in here that we like, Joe. I think I went with number 4, Another Try. So I'm veering off the thisishorseracing.com path, as it seems like I've been aligned with you and the boys up until now. But I like Another Try in here going forward for Jonathan Shepard and Hudson River Farms, Ed Sawyer's farm. But Darren Nagel, who we saw get popped off the saddle in the last race, is fine, and he's taken the mount this afternoon. He did finish second on this horse 3 starts back at Middleburg when he was here in the maiden special weight. So he's dropping down just a smidgen here, because that race was for 4-year-olds and up, where this one is restricted to 3 and 4-year-olds. So he's really running against his own age group. Gets in with 154. But last year, out of 8 starts, he had 2 seconds and 3 thirds. So very consistent. This year, he's had 2 starts, a first and a second and a third. So I like his chances coming in here. But there are definitely other horses in here that are worth a look. I like the number 8 Seamass, who actually was second against No Man's Land, and that was a maiden special weight at Belmont. Now that's the very, very top of our flat racing here in the United States. If you're running maiden special weight at Belmont, people think good things about you. And he was second, just beaten a length that day. And I think that he's got a good shot too, as he's making his debut for Richard Valentine under the 20, actually not his debut, sorry. He's actually started over hurdles. He ran back at Colonial and was third under Kieran Norris, but Gerard Galligan gets the mount this afternoon. And he was second in the maiden hurdle at Old Dominion Point to Point back in September. So another horse I think has a good shot in here. And the 7 Noble Weed making another start today. He was third at the Blue Ridge Point to Point maiden hurdle. And this horse, a legitimate first timer under the NSA rules. So again, Mark Beecher, Sean McDermott teaming up for Straylight Racing here with the 7 Noble Weed. So lay it on me, Joe. Where are you and the boys going in this upcoming 5th race? I know it's not another try.
No, I've got another try as my second choice. So I think he's the horse to beat for sure. And he would not be a surprise at all. I think you're very live. You've got a good pick there. And you know, we know how well Jonathan Shepard's horses have been running. His hurdle form's good enough. He ran on the flat at Presque Isle in August. But I went with Rambaldi from Leslie Young's barn. You know, he was second in that race at Colonial ahead of Seamass, beat Seamass ahead, where Baltimore Bucko won pretty nicely in a maiden race at Colonial Downs. And I would just think that sets him up pretty well to step forward and, you know, hopefully graduate today. And Sean and Tom also landed on him, so there'll be no movement in the leaderboard based on this race. Irish bred, you know, he might want, you know, a little softer ground than he's going to get, but I think he's probably set up for a pretty good effort. You know, Tom Garner rides, Leslie's horses run well. We see her do it with horses like this all the time, had European platform, and now switches to hurdles. And I think Seamass is certainly based coming out of that same race. And it's interesting to see, No Man's Land, Richard's horse beat him on the flat, and now Richard ends up with Seamass as well. It's cool. I mean, I think it's cool to see 10, you know, you've got a big field of 3 and 4 year old maidens, which bodes well for the rest of the game. I mean, to see a group of horses like this, basically newcomers to steeplechasing, and to see as many of them is a good thing. That shows some health in the horse inventory, and it might be the only positive that come out of some of this coronavirus pandemic and limited racing opportunities is sort of it sure seems like there are a lot of horses around, and if hopefully we can continue it and add some more opportunities in the spring, and you know, get back to some semblance of normal. But again, anytime you see full fields is a good sign, and it's good to see for trainers and owners and for race meets.
You know, you mentioned the 3-year-olds. We've only got one in here, and that's the 3 Coco Star, who won it last time out, broke his maiden in a maiden claim in 65 at Gulfstream Park, actually down in South Florida back in May. So he's been with Dougie Fouts since then. He gets in a little bit lighter because of that weight break at 146. Barry Foley just fresh off the win in the last race. As we see them all standing there lined up, looking at the hurdle and taking a peek around. Of course, the one bowled over with those Kipling Hall, very striking silks coming forward for Willie Dowling, Graham Waters. This horse, we have not seen him in the point-to-point circuit yet, so it'll be interesting to see how he does this afternoon, making his debut over jumps, since we haven't seen him. But Willie Dowling certainly knows how to get a horse ready, so Graham Waters takes the mount this afternoon. But he looks really well as he was going out to the race course to warm up. And there's the number 5, Bickley. Finished last in the maiden hurdle at Shawan for Fennica Bentley. Mikey Mitchell, co-leading jockey right now, again in the standings. But another one, we have not seen a whole lot from him other than that one last place finish 2 weeks ago at Shawan. So obviously thought is that he would improve off of that and only go forward. So there's the 2 Telegram for Elizabeth Voss, having a bit of a quiet time this year, particularly last year as well. Ross Garrity, a true maiden coming in, has not won on the flat either, but did run on the lead and then gave it up a little bit to finish 4th under Ross back at Colonial in the early part of August in maiden special weight. What are your thoughts on Telegram?
Telegram is the name of the day, as
Stone
his
Farm.
dam's name
Yeah.
is Left a Message. So, good job. And you love to see Stone Farm. I mean, the major players
Yeah.
on the flat circuit and breeders and sales game to have a jumper with Elizabeth. That's good. Good for the game as well. And yeah, that fourth would have been a nice educational effort. And, he should be able to move forward off of that. Again, I love to see them all just sort of stand here as, the supposed wild racehorse thing, as these horses just stand in the middle of a field basically with no lead ponies or nobody holding them or anything else. They probably would like to graze, but otherwise are calm, cool, and collected before they race.
Yeah. There's number 4, Another Try, my pick there. And then, it's hard to say what these horses will do and how the race is going to unfold against, maidens. You've got first-time starters out here. Some horses have never had this type of a racing environment before, where they're not walking into a starting gate and hearing the bell and sprinting out. So it's as much a learning opportunity for them, but these are definitely the types of races that we like to see experience. We see that play out well in these maiden races. So last thoughts, Joe, before we turn it over to Will O'Keefe.
No, I don't think so. It'll be fun to watch. I mean, I think Rambaldi, Another Try are certainly your players, but anytime you got a group of 3- and 4-year-olds together, it's very wide open and competitive.
Well, we're going to hear the call of this upcoming Daniel C. Sands Cup. It's a maiden race, $10,000 for 3- and 4-year-olds, 1 3-year-old and 9 4-year-olds as they go postward. Will O'Keefe with the call of the races.
Our field will be lining up shortly. 2 1/8 miles, 11 national fences. Maiden 3- and 4-year-olds. The flag is up. And they're running on the stream. That was Junior Senator being left a bit. Step to the bar in the white and green silks, leading Noble Weed with Rambaldi in the bright pink silks on the inside. Another Try is there also as they gallop up the hill, and they'll straighten their way down the back side and head towards the second fence. Telegram has now gone to the front. Step to the bar on the outside, racing in third as Noble Weed splits horses and now vies for the lead. Bowled Over sitting right behind those 3. Telegram on top. Step to the bar with Noble Weed. Noble Weed in second, step to the bar in third. Another Try follows with Bowled Over Rambaldi. The leaders are running and jumping on the front end. That's Telegram on top by just about a length. On the inside, Noble Weed. On the outside, Step to the Bar. Another Try, Bowled Over Rambaldi, Seamass, Bickley at their leaders are over the fourth fence. And we've got a new leader, Noble Weed, only led briefly as Telegram came back again and regained the advantage. Telegram on top, Noble Weed in second place. Step to the Bar in third. On the inside, Bickley. On the outside, Another Try, followed by Rambaldi. And they're approaching the next fence with Telegram leading. Telegram on top. maybe a 3/4 of a length, maybe less than that, as they bunch up a bit over the fence. Telegram on the inside between horses is Noble Weed, Step to the Bar on the outside. Those three tightly bunched, followed by Bold Over and Another Try, and the others as they're at and now over the sixth fence. On the inside, Bold Over vies for the lead. Telegram moves up again to take a slight advantage on the outside. Telegram on top, Bold Over on the inside. In the middle, of course, Another Try along with Noble Weed. Noble Weed, though, is racing in second place with Bold Over alongside and Telegram on the outside. Can't tell where he is in the top three. As they race towards the next fence, Step to the Bar, and Bernie Dalton going over that one with the lead. Telegram follows. Noble Weed on the inside. Bold Over is there also as they head towards the turn. Rambaldi has made a bold move and now is in contention and has the lead. Noble Weed comes back again on the inside. Step to the Bar, regaining the advantage. Noble Weed in second place. Another Try on the inside of Rambaldi. Bold Over is there also with Seamass Bickley with 4 more fences to go, make that 3 now. Step to the Bar has regained the lead and has opened a little bit of daylight, though they've been tightly bunched most of the way. Step to the Bar, Rambaldi in the bright pink silks on the inside. That's Noble Weed on the outside. Another Try, about 2.5 lengths separates those. And Seamast is making a move up on the extreme outside. Coco Star is joining them from between horses as they race towards the final fence. Another Try may have put his nose out in front. Bickley on the extreme outside. Another Try. Rambaldi is there also. Anybody's horse race as they race into the stretch. Another Try has gone to the lead under Darren Nagel. Moving up on the inside or the outside is Bickley. Bickley in the orange silks on the outside, and Another Try is there also with Rambaldi racing in third place. Here comes Bickley, and Another Try is trying to get there. Bickley and Another Try. That was entirely too close to call.
Wow, Joe, what a race. I mean, so many things happening there. You and I were commenting as the race was unfolding, but what a performance by Bickley to come flying there at the end. And Another Try, and he gave us another exciting finish. We'll see what happens with the photo finish, but I do believe there's going to be a steward's inquiry because there was a lot of bumping going on right in there. Yeah. As we see that.
Sure.
Did you see anything particular there?
It's hard to tell. You want to. I want one more slow-mo look or something because Rambaldi gets kind of pinched out of there, but I don't know if it was necessarily anybody's fault. It's just sort of, again, that elbow comes up and you see horses do that. I'm going to go with Bickley getting the win barely over Another Try. That's what happens with 3 and 4-year-olds. They're all a little erratic. There were some horses that were stronger than their jockeys wanted them to be, and they were probably a little too keen early. Another Try ran great. He was very relaxed and doing everything right. Bickley, if he does get it, cool effort there, and another win for Mikey Mitchell. He's leaving no stone unturned, coming up with a winner for Fennica Bentley, who's, again, another one of the smaller stables. She used to be an assistant for Ricky Hendricks, has some horses around Fair Hill, trains all kinds of horses because she has steeplechasers, flat horses, and then she also has several Arabians. She had 3 horses in the big Arabian race on Preakness Day last week, and they are frequently seen, all of her horses are frequently seen galloping on the hills and fields of Fair Hill, not necessarily a training center, out in the fields, because I'll be out running without a horse and Fennica will come galloping by me on a racehorse, going much faster than I am.
Well, let's hope so. If it's a racehorse.
Yeah, exactly. I just try to get out of the way. I usually have a dog with me off the leash, I just stay out of the way.
As we see the horses galloping back, it's not official yet, but we do believe that number 5 Bickley was the winner there. And again, Jill Johnson, 2 on the day, different trainer, but same jockey, Mikey Mitchell, those orange and brown silks right there. Nice job with this horse. especially since he finished last at the maiden hurdle at Shawan 2 weeks ago, but definitely got the experience he needed. But what a bunch of raw maidens going postward here. Those first few jumps, I think it was finally the 6th hurdle where you could see them starting to settle down. But as you mentioned, another try, very professional going through the entire race. Junior Senator, not so forward at all. Looks like he was just gaining the experience that they would be looking for in this race. Did you see any fault of his during the race?
No, not really. I mean, and it's not that much of a surprise. Yeah, Stewart's inquiry.
Yeah.
That's not a surprise, but I don't know if I'd change anything based on what we've seen so far. But Junior Senator, I mean, I remember people telling me all the stories I wrote about Senior Senator. He was pretty.
Number 4 against the winner, number 5.
Wow. So both the second
So
and the
try.
third claim foul against Bickley.
Well,
interesting. So yeah, we'll see. There's obviously plenty there to figure out. But Senior Senator, real quick, I remember just talking to people about his early days. He was very headstrong and took a lot of training and teaching and trying to get him to relax. And you could tell they were probably doing the same thing with this horse, like break him off behind the field, see if you can get him to switch off, get into a rhythm, and learn something from it to where he progresses to the next step. And that's what you have to do with a lot of maidens. They're not all as forward as you think, especially some coming off the racetrack. They just need a little more seasoning and to figure out that, this is a 2-mile race. I cannot just smash out to the front as fast as I can go and hopefully to hang on. You see trainers doing that all the time. They just give them some lessons like that in a maiden race.
Hey, to Bill, back in the studio, can you take us back and do one more slow-mo of the last race into the stretch so we can see if we can slow that down at all just to kind of see what the objection would be there? If you can run that back one more time before we go to the race replay, that would be awesome. And then we can try to see, because it's 2 claims of foul, there's got a lot of going on there that we'd like to try to pinpoint if we could, see what the stewards are seeing.
Yeah, I know Rambaldi was sort of in the middle, and he ended up having to go back to the inside, but I'm not sure. It would have been before that.
Past it, yeah.
To the paddock for the 6th race, please.
All right, well, we'll catch it on the race replay then. But we're going to go ahead and take you guys back to the start of this race, the 5th race, the Daniel C. Sands Cup, and we'll have a look at the full race.
And they're running on the extreme. That was Junior Senator being left a bit. Step to the bar in the white and green silks, leading Noble Weed with Rambaldi in the bright pink silks on the inside. Another try is there also as they gallop up the hill, and they'll straighten their way down the backside and head towards the second fence. Telegram has now gone to the front. Step to the bar on the outside, racing in third as Noble Weed splits horses and now vies for the lead. Bowled Over sitting right behind those 3. Telegram on top. Step to the bar with Noble Weed. Noble Weed in second, step to the bar in third. Another try follows with Bowled Over Rambaldi. The leaders are running and jumping on the front end. That's Telegram on top by just about a length. On the inside, Noble Weed. On the outside, step to the bar. Another try, Bowled Over Rambaldi, Seamass, Bickley at their leaders are over the 4th fence. And we've got a new leader, Noble Weed, only led briefly as Telegram came back again and regained the advantage. Telegram on top, Noble Weed in second place. Step to the bar in third. On the inside, Bickley. On the outside, another try followed by Rambaldi, and they're approaching the next fence with Telegram leading. Telegram on top, maybe 3/4 of a length, maybe less than that as they bunch up a bit over the fence. Telegram on the inside between horses is Noble Weed. Step to the bar on the outside. Those 3 tightly bunched, followed by Bowled Over and another try, and the others as they're at and now over the 6th fence. On the inside, Bowled Over vies for the lead. Telegram moves up again to take a slight advantage on the outside. Telegram on top, Bold over on the inside. In the middle, of course, another try along with Noble Weed. Noble Weed, though, is racing in second place with Bold over alongside and Telegram on the outside. Can't tell where he is in the top three. As they race towards the next fence, step to the bar, and Bernie Dalton going over that one with the lead. Telegram follows. Noble Weed on the inside. Bold over is there also as they head towards the turn. Rambaldi has made a bold move and now is in contention and has the lead. Noble Weed comes back again on the inside. Step to the bar, regaining the advantage. Noble Weed in second place. Another try on the inside of Rambaldi. Bold over is there also with Seamass Bickley with 4 more fences to go. Make that 3 now. Step to the bar has regained the lead and has opened a little bit of daylight, though they've been tightly bunched most of the way. Step to the bar. Rambaldi in the bright pink silks on the inside. That's Noble Weed on the outside. Another try. About 2.5 lengths separates those. And Seamass is making a move up on the extreme outside. Coco Star is joining them from between horses as they race towards the final fence. Another try may have put his nose out in front. Bickley on the extreme outside. Another try. Rambaldi is there also. Anybody's horse race as they race into the stretch. Another try has gone to the lead under Darren Nagel. Moving up on the inside or the outside is Bickley. Bickley in the orange silks on the outside, and another try is there also with Rambaldi racing in third place. Here comes Bickley, and another try is trying to get there. Bickley and another try. That was entirely too close to call.
All right, so if you're watching with us, we just saw a whole lot of horse knocking going on there. We're going to take you back and show you from the last race, the last hurdle, because that seems where the claim of foul has come from, and that's that Bickley, looked like the winner of this race, had fouled here. You can see Bickley with the orange colors, and that's Rambaldi with the pink next to him, and then of course another try on the lead with the white and black silks right there, Joe.
Oof. Yeah, that's a pretty good bump. It's
really
hard to
good
tell how much Rambaldi was either. I mean, he was certainly bumped. It's hard to tell whether he, was all the way up in there when he came over. But I mean, he almost got bumped by both horses, sort of sandwiched as another try came out a little bit and Bickley came in. This will be interesting because I mean, the margin of victory between the first two is so tight that stewards could certainly make a case that it cost that horse, the second horse, enough momentum. Pretty serious bump. It'll be interesting to see how they play this out, and obviously they'll talk to probably all 3 jockeys in this case and try to make a decision. We're not there, so we don't hear whether Rambaldi's jockey claimed foul on both horses or just one. So if they disqualify Bickley, most likely another try would move up to be the winner. But although you might make the case that he bothered Rambaldi as well. So this will take a little while because again, you've got 3. If you're the steward, you have 3 jockeys to talk to, and you want to watch that video probably each time to try to judge each horse's where you're looking at a specific horse each time.
Most definitely, and it's an important role the stewards have right now to define what exactly happened. So we are going to take another commercial break, and when we come back, we hope to have the official results from the 5th race at Glenwood Park. Of course, you're tuned into the NSA Network, and you are watching the live stream broadcast. We'll be back shortly.
Easy Fix stable solutions are designed to perform. These high-quality interlocking rubber mats offer a safe and comfortable option for reducing the risk of injury to your horse caused by slippage. Designed and manufactured in Ireland, these mats are easy to install in stables, stalls, wash bays, and walkways. Leading horsemen worldwide have been using EasyFix mats, and now they're available in the U.S. To learn more about EasyFix stable solutions, visit our website, safetyfence.com. EasyFix is the ultimate stable solution.
Head jump here straight at it. Excited to come over that edge.
Brown Advisory is proud to support the National Steeplechase Association and the Virginia Fall Races. Through investment performance, strategic advice, and the highest level of service, we are committed to making a material and positive difference in the lives of the individuals, families, and institutions we are privileged to serve, and for the communities in which we work and live. We offer a special thanks to the volunteers, horsemen, and the Virginia Fall Race Committee for making today possible in support of the Inova Loudon Hospital Foundation and the Glenwood Park Trust.
And welcome back to the Glenwood Park Virginia Fall Races. Of course, we are in the Post and Courier studio, Joe Clancy and myself, as we just watched the Bruton Street U.S. race replay. We got a chance to talk to you guys about the Stewart's inquiry that unfolded in the fifth race at Glenwood Park. The winner was Bickley, and then another try, and then Rambaldi, but that was the unofficial results. There was a steward's inquiry as well as two claims of foul against the winner, Bickley. Mikey Mitchell was taken down as a result of that. So the winner now is the number 4, another try. Official results there. Hudson River Farms, Ed Sawyer, congratulations. Jonathan Shepard notches another one on his already record-setting career. Darren Nagel in the saddle, and then second place was the number 6 Rambaldi for Leslie Young and Tom Garner and Silverton Hill LLC, and then in third was number 5 Bickley. Jill Johnson and Fennica Bentley teamed up with this one with Mikey Mitchell. So just greenness, it looked like. We had another look at that race replay, Joe, and we also agreed that it seemed likely that Bickley would come down because of his greenness. He came off that last hurdle, was running for the elbow, as you call it, and then just kind of moved over and knocked Rambaldi over. It looked like 2 lanes at least, and definitely impeded on his ability to go forward. So that official results now, Bickley was taken down to third. The number 4, another try, was put up as the winner. So congratulations to the connections of another try for the Daniel C. Sands Cup.
Yeah, good
What else
race.
did you
I mean,
see, Joe?
I mean, that's obviously the drama, but you could certainly see horses that were acting green. There was a lack of experience in there, and you could tell horses were, you know, kind of, you saw horses moving around, left and right, and then also some of their jumping wasn't quite so tidy. And then when you see them there, Middleburg it's a funny place. I mean, there's no question. There's that weird sort of elbow and a short stretch to the wire from there, and you see horses get in trouble. There's a lot of wide open space after the last fence, and then they're all running toward that rail. And Bickley just came over a little bit. The hill probably pushes him that way, and he came over a little bit. Certainly bothered another try or bothered Rambaldi probably the most, and then he bumped pretty hard with another try as well. It would have been interesting to see if everybody held a straight line and all three of them got to the stretch together, and we would have seen who could have done it. But good effort by all three. Like we said, another try was probably the most professional all the way around. He did his job, listened to Darren, switched off. He kind of picked his way into the race and was making a nice move. And then, they all sort of came together there. I think you could, another try graduates the maiden ranks. The other two would certainly be tough next time because they would have learned a lot from that effort.
Let's talk quickly about Telegram. He was on the lead. As we saw, the horses were tightly bunched. There was a lot of changing up there as expected in a maiden race, especially with several first-time starters. But he seemed like he was struggling a little bit. He was running wide as they came around the tower for the second time, and Ross looked down at his tack or something, and then he was just kind of continuing to drift out wide as they were coming around that turn at the very back of the course. But then he went from the lead to last. I'm not really sure what happened there, but definitely didn't see anything dramatic or that stood out. But did you have any view of it differently than me as far as Telegram and him going from first to last?
No, I don't think so. We were trying to figure out if Ross had lost an iron or maybe a piece of tack broke or something like that. Again, when you're not there, it's sort of what you miss a little bit is being able to ask that question. He was in front, but he was certainly racing, within himself and looked like he might have been able to stay on and hang around to be in the mix a little bit against some of those other horses. But again, they'll get another try, and hopefully everybody's okay and none the worse the wear for that. I would probably, looking at it, watching Ross Garrity look down at something, whether an iron started to come loose or some other type of thing that had gone wrong with the equipment.
And then lastly, but certainly not least, Junior Senator, we talked also about him getting a good education in his first start over hurdles this afternoon. Archie McCauley clearly keeping him in the back. You could see he was a little bit rank. He was like, why are you holding me back here? I'm supposed to be winning. But did you see anything that stood out for you on how he was jumping and running today?
No, I don't think so. I think they were definitely trying to get him some experience. This would be coming off the racetrack. Middleburg would be a big change for any horse. And if you're trying to build on a horse who might have potential over timber, that kind of thing, you want to concentrate on his jumping and relaxing and being able to learn how to run at this longer steeplechase distance compared to a flat race. So I would think they'd be fine. He was actually sort of picking up some ground there between the second last and the last. And, he would move forward off of that as well. And you probably see him in another maiden hurdle down the road a little bit.
Well, the good news is we have another handful of race meets to give him that opportunity as we continue on the fall season for the National Steeplechase Association. We have several opportunities, several good race meets coming up, and we now look at horses in the paddock for the upcoming sixth race, which you talked about timber, and now we're looking at maiden timber horses. This is the James P. McCormick Memorial. $10,000 purse, maidens 4-year-olds and up, going 3 miles over the timber course here at Glenwood. We're going to scratch the number 5, the Silent Trainer, scratch the 14, My Afleet, and happily the 13 Second Amendment draws in for his connections. I'm sure Skylar and her auntie Sana were happy about that because that horse is a good shot in this race. And then a jockey on 4, Mr. Fine Threads, Gerard Galligan, will be riding Mr. Fine Threads today for Billy Santoro and Sharon Shepard. But interesting race here. Always fun to see the maiden timber horses going forward. And I actually did land on the horse that drew in the 13 Second Amendment as my top choice. But right now we're looking at the Virginia Equine Alliance race entries. And you can see their Second Amendment as the number 13. So I like this horse, particularly because I think Skylar gave him a very professional strategic ride at Shawan against winners, and he won that race back over the timber 2 weeks ago. So I think that sets him up perfectly for a nice performance this afternoon against this bunch. But there's some other good horses in here. Joe, who do you like going forward in this race?
Yeah, it's kind of fun to look at some maiden timber horses. I mean, it's not quite the dramatic change you see with really inexperienced hurdle horses. I mean, most of these horses have hurdle form, so they've run over jumps before, and now they're just switching to timber, which is longer distance, a little more emphasis on the jumping. Obviously, the pace scenario is a little different, where they go slower and try to make that gallop last a little longer. I'm with you. I like Second Amendment a little bit. His hurdle form was good enough. Distance should not be a problem. And Santa can get horses ready, and Skylar's certainly proven she can ride well enough to compete against these races, even against professionals like this. I went with Flash Jackson from Todd Wyatt's barn, and Mikey Mitchell rides. He's run once over timber, was second behind Storm Team over this course, was good enough over hurdles to win once, which I think just shows you enough. Young timber horse. It's certainly, I'm sure he's done plenty of jumping at Todd Wyatt's farm. Todd and his wife Blair do a great job teaching horses to jump and to learn and settle and do types of things like that. I'm sure he's jumped logs and coops and ditches and everything they have. So that would serve him well here. And, I think Second Amendment's certainly a player. And, there's some others. Satish has run well. It's interesting to see this horse Half a J for Richard Valentine. It's a pretty good maiden timber race, really. I mean, it's to see some horses like this kind of giving it a go and switching careers. And again, we'll see who handles the distance and the jumping, which is always a test and always sort of makes it interesting.
You know who caught my attention as well is the 6 Sidling Hill. He was third in the open timber at Shawan to Royal Ruse and Mystic Strike, who both ran really well in the feature earlier. So if he runs back to that race this afternoon for Willie Dowling, Kipling Hall, Graham Waters in the saddle, of course, then he also should be a contender in here. We're looking there at the number 7 Full-Time Party as he's walking around the paddock. Ricky Hendricks, Archie McCauley, he was last in a flat race at Blue Ridge Point to Point, but hopefully he got enough out of that to be competitive coming here today. He's making his timber debut this afternoon for his connections. He's been running over hurdles previously and hasn't had a start this year other than that flat race at Blue Ridge Point to Point. So it'll be interesting to see how he transfers over with such a limited hurdling career, coming in here with 4 lifetime starts, a win and a second. So 50% of the time in the money, but very limited he's a 7-year-old Irish bred horse by Milan. And we'll see what he does. Anybody else in here, Joe, that's worth talking about? What about First Friday or Highway Prince, Bridge Builder?
Yeah, I think again, it's the maiden race makes you consider everybody because of nobody has done much more than anybody else. So it just becomes tricky to find, and it's who might have had the point-to-point start, who comes from a barn that could get timber horses ready. Mr. Fine Threads, trained by Billy Santoro, he can certainly do that. I mean, I think had enough hurdle starts, wasn't able to win, but was competitive, second twice, and should be able to handle the switch to timber. Any of those Maryland barns like that, those horses do a lot of cross-country galloping and schooling, and any of them really. Pennsylvania, it doesn't matter where you are, Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania, any of those places do a lot of the sort of fox hunting training that these horses need to get ready to run over timber. And it's the maiden race is always competitive, and that's just the way it turns out. I mean, I still think I think Satish has run. I mean, he ran over timber at My Lady's Manor last year and was second to Skudik. Just got beat. I saw a photo the other day of the two of them sort of heads apart at the finish, and you kind of forgot that, And I think that's a good effort for a horse. And then Skudik goes on and does what he does to then show up in a maiden race. I mean, he's almost a winner. He's basically a neck short of being a winner, where he wouldn't even be eligible for this race if it wasn't for that. So. I think those are the horses you pay attention to, and then you go through connections. And we went through, Santa Nelson and Kathy and Mark Beecher and Billy Santoro and Leslie Young and, Doug Fowd, Ricky Hendricks. They can all get timber horses ready. So I think that part, is going to make for a competitive race. And just like any maiden race, I think horses show up and they're all evenly matched. It's usually the way it works out.
Yeah, and Satish, funny that you mentioned that, he would have lost his condition, obviously, but he was so close to being the winner of that race against Skudik. But then at Shawan, he was second to Tom Garrow in the timber race there, just beaten 3/4 of a length. And Ricky Hendricks is texting me right now. Full-time party won the open timber race at Warrenton point-to-point first time out and beat winners. So thanks for that update, Ricky. I did not go that far back to the point-to-pointing form, but yes, that is notable. So full-time party, a contender in here for sure. We will not put him. There he is, right there, actually on the side of the screen. Highway Prince, unlucky in his racing, unfortunately. Kathy Nielsen sends his horse forward with Barry Foley in the saddle. He won at the Blue Ridge point-to-point, what was DQ'd for being off course, and then in his last start here at Middleburg, with Graham Waters in the saddle, he was also off course. So hopefully he will stay on course today. Barry Foley certainly knows how to find his way to the winner's circle around here, as we've seen him do that. So he knows the course very well. Thank you, Ricky. I see that. I'm welcome. It's funny to see the text messages coming through while we're live on a show. Anyway, but it's helpful information nonetheless. And I'm sure everybody watching is happy to have that additional information. What else was I going to point out? As You Like It, Darren Nagel riding this horse for Santa Nelson, 5th at Shawan in the maiden timber, 5th on the flat at the Old Dominion point-to-point. Comes in here, an 8-year-old, also making his timber debut under rules. So second time over the timber fences, definitely should see an improvement from him. But Joe, like you said, it really is anybody's game really at this point, because there's too many unknowns. But again, we've always noted, and it seems to be proven, that experience definitely seems to be a key factor here. But I'm sticking with Skylar McKenna on Second Amendment. I think that's the horse to beat here.
I think you're pretty live there, and I think he's again he proved to be good enough to be competitive over hurdles. So he's got some speed. Stamina shouldn't be an issue. Nina Gardner is the owner and the breeder, and she also breeds event horses, and the pedigrees are there to get horses to run long distance, and a timber race shouldn't matter at all in terms of pedigree or distance pedigree for that horse. And it's never easy. That's why you're here trying to pick the winners, because if it was simple, you would just pick the fastest horse, but you don't know. So should be a good timber race. Good. Maidens always do this to me. You're sort of always looking at a sort of a, not quite a blank sheet, but you're looking at a lot of potential, not necessarily at a lot of form. And it'll be interesting to see who can pull this off. Middleburg is a great place to start a timber horse, like a maiden timber horse, because the fences aren't that tough, but it's got enough gallop to it. The fences are testing where you use this as a stepping stone to something else at either Great Meadow or wherever else down the road. But it's kind of a perfect maiden timber type race course, and it should be a good race.
Yeah, we just saw Bridge Builder go by. He looked really nice. Beautiful dark bay horse. 8th on the flat at Blue Ridge point-to-point, McLean Hendricks. Ricky, one of yours. Got a leg up by Eva Smithwick, local there. And, of course, historied family within steeplechasing, married to Speedy. But this horse also making a debut over timber. Hasn't seen the race course of any type in 2 years other than the point-to-point at Blue Ridge. So he is a young horse, 6 for timber horses. That's at the beginning of a career. So certainly has the talent in the barn and the knowledge in his connections to have a good timber horse. So it'd be interesting to see how he does today. We'll definitely be keeping an eye on him and hope that McLean gives him a good trip around. I'm sure he will. And another one of the up-and-comers in our steeplechase pool of young up-and-coming American riders. Joe, you missed it last weekend, but your Wikipedia page was definitely very helpful in deciphering between the who's who of the young apprentice riders. But any connection that you have at all to any of them, or anybody that you've seen so far that you think is a real standout as far as our apprentice jockeys go?
Yeah, I haven't seen enough racing to say, but I think it's great. I mean, I think it's a good sign to see sort of a new pool of American jockeys trying to find a niche in steeplechasing. Obviously, it's already a niche in thoroughbred racing that so we have a hard time kind of helping people build a career out of becoming a steeplechase jockey. But anything the sport can do to help and encourage, and it's cool to see. I mean, Skylar McKenna is certainly the first, just because she's probably a year or two older than some of this other group, and it's cool to see her doing well. And then you've got Teddy Davies and McLean Hendricks has been doing it for several years. Parker Hendricks is coming along, and it's very cool to see. It's good again, like a few things we've said today. It's good for the game. It's good for the health of the sport to see some people coming along, and we don't always have to import jockeys to come over and ride from England or Ireland, where you can make much more of a career of it. So it's a good thing, and I think might be one of the few benefits of this pandemic type schedule is you're able to carve out some opportunities for people like that and give young riders a chance, which they might not otherwise get.
It's an exciting time for them. It's unfortunate, just like so many other things that happen because of the pandemic. So many of our youngsters today, college kids, high school kids, lost out on a lot of opportunities for sport, for traveling abroad, and so on and so forth. But at least the Steeplechase Owners and Trainers Association, along with the National Steeplechase Association, saw that this was something that they needed to really put a lot of emphasis on for our up-and-comers to have these opportunities. So if you've been following so far for the NSA fall season, the autumn schedule, there are a lot of apprentice opportunities. So we're excited to see that and to see them having these horses to ride. It's been a great thing. So we're going to go ahead and take you down to the race course for the James P. McCormick Memorial. It's a maiden timber race, 3 miles, and Will O'Keefe is going to give us the call of this upcoming race.
The flag is up. And they're off and running. First Friday goes to the lead at once. Half a J now moving up on the inside in the yellow silks to take the lead. In between horses is Side Lane Hill with First Friday there also. Satish on the outside. Flash Jackson is there, Full-Time Party. At the first fence, Half a J on the inside of Sideline Hill. Satish on the outside in the blue cap. First Friday also on the outside. Bridge Builders there also. Flash Jackson. Followed by Full-Time Party. Full-Time Party and Second Amendment moving up As You Like It. Mr. Fine Threads as they come towards the next fence. Half a J approaching the second fence and flying over that one. A lot of clearance there. Half a J on top. Bridge Builder in second place on the outside. Highway Prince in the red and yellow silks. As they race up the hill, Highway Prince now moving closer to Half a J. Half a J Bridge Builder is on the inside and has gone to the front. Bridge Builder on top, Half a J in second place. Highway Prince in third, followed by Satish. Sideline Hill is there also. On the inside, Full-Time Party on the outside, Second Amendment. And completing the field is As You Like It as they gallop down the backside. Bridge Builder on top. At the fourth fence, Bridge Builder jumping with the lead. Half a J in second place. Highway Prince in third on the inside. Sideline Hill on the outside. As You Like It. Full-Time Party, Second Amendment. Completing the field is Jeffrey G. with As You Like It in front of him. On the front end, Bridge Builder has the lead. Half a J races in second place. Highway Prince in third, followed by Satish Sidling Hill. First Friday on the outside, and the leader is at and over the sixth fence. Bridge Builder showing the way by about a length and a quarter. Half a J on the outside. Highway Prince in the red and gold silks, followed by Satish Sidling Hill, As You Like It, Full-Time Party. Flash Jackson, Second Amendment, Mr. Fine Threads, As You Like It, and Jeffrey G. They race towards the eighth fence. Bridge Builder, where he's been most of the race. Highway Prince stalking him from second place. Racing in third is Half a J, who had the early lead, and on the outside is Satish. Over the next one they go, and Highway Prince has a share of the lead. Bridge Builder, though, Bridge Builder on top. Highway Prince follows in second place. Half a J races in third. Satish Sidling Hill, First Friday. Flash Jackson there also, and the other. Bridge Builder approaching the ninth fence with about a length and a half advantage. Racing in second place, Highway Prince on the inside, sidling between horses. First Friday. Half a J on the outside. Satish is there also with Flash Jackson alongside. Mr. Fine Threads, Full-Time Party, Second Amendment, As You Like It, and Jeffrey G completes the field. It looks like Bridge Builder has regained the advantage. Half a J, who's been on the pace all the way, is in second place. Highway Prince on the inside. On the outside, Satish going well in fourth place. They head up the hill for the final time. On the outside, Bridge Builder. On the inside, Highway Prince. Highway Prince now showing the way, and he's about 2 lengths ahead of Satish, who's moving up in second. Half a J is pulling up. Highway Prince, Satish on the outside. Bridge Builder between horses. First Friday is there also as they race down the backside for the final time. Highway Prince running and jumping with the lead. Satish follows in second place. Flash Jackson races in fourth place on the outside. That's Bridge Builder dropping back to fifth place. Mr. Fine Threads trying to come on. We've got a new leader. That's Satish on top under Tom Garner. Racing into the final half mile, Satish. Highway Prince is coming back against Flash Jackson. Don't count him out. Mr. Fine Threads is going well, as is First Friday. You can throw a big blanket over the first 5 horses, and Flash Jackson has joined Satish on the front end. Flash Jackson on the outside, Satish on the inside, and they race towards the last fence as a team. Satish racing on the inside. Flash Jackson on the outside has taken the lead. Mr. Fine Threads is coming on, as is First Friday on the outside. They turn for home. Flash Jackson has the lead. Can he hold them off? First Friday trying to get there, Mr. Fine Threads and Satish, but it's gonna be Flash Jackson. Michael Mitchell and
Well, Joe, you picked that one, Flash Jackson. He came in here off of a really good race back over this race course, finishing second back in June, and you guys had him, and he certainly was convincing in victory today with Mikey Mitchell aboard. That's his second win on the day officially. He was winner of the other race but got taken down. But what a nice run by Flash Jackson.
Yeah, you could see him just sort of pick. That's the way you're supposed to run a timber race. Kind of relax early, pick your way into it, and you see him just making up ground here, and comes with plenty of run, and then sees it out. I mean, he had enough hurdle ability, and you could see it kind of. He's got some speed here after the last fence, and you know, some of those guys up front early. Again, it's just hard to do going 3 miles to stay up there, especially when you've got company from other horses, to stay up there in front the whole way. And, you know, some of the leaders got a little tired, and Flash Jackson, who relaxed early, picked his way into the race, used his jumping, and then comes on and wins it nicely. Pretty cool, stylish win for, what looks like might be a nice young timber horse, homebred for Ann Jackson, she won the won the Maryland Hunt Cup with Raven's Choice, and has had some nice horses that came through the program, and this might be one more.
I remember watching him at Shawan when he broke his maiden then over hurdles, and he was nice that day, and good to see, like you said, Todd and Blair run a really nice program there and do a great job with their horses. So nice to see another smaller trainer. I always joke around with him and I call him the other Todd. But this afternoon, the sixth race, of course, it's unofficial. A lot of things happening prior to them getting to the wire. We see Skylar walking back in amendment. Didn't seem like jumping very well there. He had a couple sticky ones and just didn't seem to have the he needed today. Bridge Builder ran well early on, the middle of the race. It looked like he put on a good performance, got tired, and the horse was pulled there in the last half of the race, the last lap there. But Satish also ran well, as we expected him to do. And as we see there, the unofficial results, Flash Jackson as the winner. First Friday, Ricky Hendricks. Must have been that point-to-point back in Warrenton and in March that put him up there for being fit enough for second place finish, and then Mr. Fine Threads was third, again unofficial. So we're going to go ahead and take you back to the start of this race for the complete race replay, brought to you by Bruton Street US.
For the running, First Friday goes to the lead at once. Half a J now moving up on the inside in the yellow silks to take the lead. In between horses is Sideline Hill with First Friday there also. Satish on the outside. For Flash Jackson is there, Full-Time Party. At the first fence, Half a J on the inside of Sideline Hill. Satish on the outside in the blue cap. First Friday also on the outside. Bridge Builders there also. Flash Jackson, followed by Full-Time Party. Full-Time Party and Second Amendment moving up as you like it. Mr. Fine Threads as they come towards the next fence. Half a J approaching the second fence and flying over that one. A lot of clearance there. Half a J on top. Bridge Builder in second place on the outside. Highway Prince in the red and yellow silks. As they race up the hill, Highway Prince now moving closer to Half a J. Half a J Bridge Builder is on the inside and has gone to the front. Bridge Builder on top, Half a J in second place. Highway Prince in third, followed by Satish. Sideline Hill is there also. On the inside, Full-Time Party. On the outside, Second Amendment. And completing the field is As You Like It as they gallop down the backside. Bridge Builder on top. At the fourth fence, Bridge Builder jumping with the lead. Half a J in second place. Highway Prince in third on the inside. Sideline Hill on the outside. As You Like It. Full-Time Party, Second Amendment. Completing the field is Jeffrey G. with As You Like It in front of him. On the front end, Bridge Builder has the lead. Half a J races in second place. Highway Prince in third, followed by Satish. Sideline Hill. First Friday on the outside, and the leader is at and over the sixth fence. Bridge Builder showing the way by about a length and a quarter. Half a J on the outside. Highway Prince in the red and gold silks, followed by Satish. Sideline Hill, As You Like It, Full-Time Party. Flash Jackson, Second Amendment. Mr. Fine Threads, As You Like It, and Jeffrey G. They race towards the eighth fence. Bridge Builder, where he's been most of the race. Highway Prince stalking him from second place. Racing in third is Half a J, who had the early lead, and on the outside is Satish. Over the next one they go, and Highway Prince has a share of the lead. Bridge Builder, though, Bridge Builder on top. Highway Prince follows in second place. Half a J races in third. Satish. Sideline Hill, First Friday. Flash Jackson there also, and the other. Bridge Builder approaching the ninth fence with about a length and a half advantage. Racing in second place, Highway Prince on the inside, sidling between horses First Friday. Half a J on the outside. Satish is there also with Flash Jackson alongside. Mr. Fine Threads, Full-Time Party, Second Amendment, As You Like It, and Jeffrey G completes the field. It looks like Bridge Builder has regained the advantage. Half a J, who's been on the pace all the way, is in second place. Highway Prince on the inside. On the outside, Satish going well in fourth place. They head up the hill for the final time. On the outside, Bridge Builder. On the inside, Highway Prince. Highway Prince now showing the way, and he's about 2 lengths ahead of Satish, who's moved up in second. Half a J is pulling up. Highway Prince, Satish on the outside. Bridge Builder between horses. First Friday is there also as they race down the backside for the final time. Highway Prince running and jumping with the lead. Satish follows in second place. Flash Jackson races in fourth place on the outside. That's Bridge Builder dropping back to fifth place. Mr. Fine Threads trying to come on. We've got a new leader. That's Satish on top under Tom Garner. Racing into the final half mile, Satish. Highway Prince is coming back against Flash Jackson. Don't count him out. Mr. Fine Threads is going well, as is First Friday. You can throw a big blanket over the first 5 horses, and Flash Jackson has joined Satish on the front end. Flash Jackson on the outside, Satish on the inside, and they race towards the last fence as a team. Satish racing on the inside. Flash Jackson on the outside has taken the lead. Mr. Fine Threads is coming on, as is First Friday on the outside. They turn for home. Flash Jackson has the lead. Can he hold them off? First Friday trying to get there, Mr. Fine Threads and Satish, but it's gonna be Flash Jackson.
Nice performance there by Flash Jackson, official winner of the maiden timber race at James P. McCormick Memorial for his connections. And Jackson, Todd Wyatt, and Michael Mitchell making that Michael's 3rd win on the day. He did win a 4th race, but he was disqualified, so he is now currently with 10 wins in the win column for the jockey standings. Gerard Gallion, I know, is keeping close tabs on this from the race course and making sure that the numbers are current and correct. Anyway, we do have a lot more to bring you as we are going forward with the next race, which is one of my favorite races to watch. But interestingly enough, Joe, before we go into our next race, any other final thoughts on this?
No, I mean, that was a pretty good maiden timber race. Flash Jackson should be able to move forward. I wonder, I mean, again, there are not many options. Like timber horses seem to have maiden races and then stakes. So I'm sure Todd will try to find a spot for him. I love that. I love that horse's look. He's got a big white face like his sire Get Stormy, who was a favorite for sure. I loved watching him run on the turf, and to see him with a horse, it doesn't seem like he's been a stallion long enough to have steeplechasers already, but I guess he does. And I like the way he did it. I like the way that a couple of the other horses that were second and third did too. They were, again, relaxed early. They can build off those races to then go on and try to do other things. You know, some of those horses that were running up front early, going too fast, they get a little tired. Their jumping suffers, and then you see them sort of back up late. And I think a timber horse, a good timber horse, relaxes, uses his jumping, and then can kick in the way Flash Jackson did there.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I did like the way that McLean rode Bridge Builder. I think he did get a little bit quick early on, but I liked the way that horse was running down to his jump. So I look forward to seeing him run again in the coming weeks as we continue on the fall season here with the National Steeplechase Association. Joe, we brought to everybody earlier who was watching the live stream a really great story about a new book that's being written, but we want to go ahead and run that feature again for anybody who did not see that early on and are just joining us in the last race or two. Mikey Mitchell and Reggie Williams have paired up to create this phenomenal story about Prava Prava's Steeplechase Adventure, and we've got the feature for you right now.
After breakfast, my friends and I walked around with lots of other horses. Some looked like me and some did not. Some were from different parts of the world and some spoke in different languages. It was so much fun to hear about their homes, their families, and soon we all became good friends. So when I first met Reggie on the circuit, Reggie would always be there leading horses up.
I was in Saratoga Springs on August the 19th. I was handling the horse, Fast Car.
Fast Car was a young horse coming through the ranks, and he was just a little bit immature and young and naive.
This horse has to be constantly talked to the entire time he's in the paddock because he gets a bit nervous. I was singing and whistling and whatever it took. When Mike got up on the horse, he took over. And he started talking as though he was the horse.
It was more about keeping myself and the horse relaxed. And I talked to the horse as I imagined he would be thinking on race day. If I talked him through it, we can build up that relationship.
So after the race was over, we were back at the barn, and I saw Michael, and I said, Michael, I know you think you were just sitting up on the horse babbling, but what I heard come out of your mouth was an awesome children's story. When I had this thought of having the book, I said, we will make this a book, and we'll have the children attending my sport camp to do the illustrations. What I simply have them do is have a kid submit a drawing. Every kid who submits a drawing, they will be listed as illustrators in the book.
It was only a short time ago that I was riding the horse, and now we've got a book ready to go.
We're looking to publish the book around Christmas time. It will be sold on Amazon. The proceeds from the book will go to my charity, T.C. Williams Youth Sport Camps International, and the Injured Jockeys Fund.
It would be lovely if you could spread the steeplechasing story for people of that age to learn about the racing, and then for it to grow from there. It could be something that people want to get involved with later on in their lives and their careers. And the story continues.
What an amazing opportunity. So excited to see this book come out, and perfect timing. Of course, Prava's Steeplechase Adventure is the title of the book. It's going to be available on Amazon. But what a great story, and what a great program that Reggie is a part of. Of course, it's based on Michael Mitchell talking to Fast Car in the paddock, and what a great story that's come from it. So super excited to see that book. Joe, I know you're going to stock up on it for all your nieces and nephews, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I hadn't heard, like we talked before, I hadn't heard anything about that. I think it's really cool. And you know, anything like that, if you can put something like that in a child's hand and get them to maybe learn a little bit about horses and the sport, that's good for everybody. So look forward to it, and fun little feature there. Yeah, we'll have to go shopping.
Yeah, definitely. Nice work by Annie Bishop to put that video together too. It's beautiful in the way it tells the story of the story. So folks, we're up to my favorite race on the card, the Steeplethon. It's the 7th race. It's the obstacle race. It's cross country. And we've got some really exciting horses to look at in there. Of course, the winner invocation from the June version of this race. But quickly, we are going to take a commercial break. And then when we come back, we're going to jump into the Steeplethon. Stay tuned.
EasyFix products are designed to perform. Leading horsemen worldwide choose durable products from EasyFix for their quality, safety, and ease of use. Their internationally approved racecourse style hurdles have the look and feel of natural fences and are used at top schooling grounds and race meets in the U.S. and abroad. Also from EasyFix, stable solutions for top performance in stalls, wash bays, and walkways. To learn more, visit our website, safetyfence.com.
Brown Advisory is proud to support the National Steeplechase Association and the Virginia Fall Races. Through investment performance, strategic advice, and the highest level of service, we are committed to making a material and positive difference in the lives of the individuals, families, and institutions we are privileged to serve, and for the communities in which we work and live. We offer a special thanks to the volunteers, horsemen, and the Virginia Fall Race Committee for making today possible in support of the Inova Loudoun Hospital Foundation and the Glenwood Park Trust.
This November, the thrill of thoroughbred racing returns with Steeplechase of Charleston. Enjoy world-class athleticism, fierce competition, and an afternoon of intimate gatherings with friends and family. Located at the beautiful Stono Ferry Racecourse. The 2020 event offers additional safety enhancements like increased sanitation stations and touchless checkout in our open-air vendor village. And you'll notice some extra space surrounding your tailgate this year to enjoy a socially distant gathering with loved ones while cheering on your favorite horses in 5 high-stakes races. Join us on November 15th for this quintessential celebration of fall in the Low Country. Steeplechase of Charleston.
And welcome back to the NSA Network. You're watching Jump Racing USA. We just got to see some really great commercials that are reminders that we've got several more fantastic race meets coming up on the NSA schedule for the autumn season. And we just saw the closing meet, Charleston. They are allowing spectators there, so you can go to their website and buy tickets for that. And of course, all this coming to you today from the Post and Courier studio. Charleston's Post and Courier is a sponsor of the Charleston race meet. So lots of exciting things to look forward to. That's always a fun meet to close out the year. Joe Clancy from thisishorseracing.com and the Mid-Atlantic Thoroughbred joins me for the continuation of our dissection of the 9 races from Glenwood Park, the Virginia Fall races. And of course, we're up to the 7th race, Joe. It's one of the favorites by all the fans to watch, the Steeplethon. And the Steeplethon is fun because it is a course that is between hurdle and timber. The distance is 2 and 5 miles, and they run over hurdles, timber, they run through water. They have this massive hairpin turn that they have to negotiate. They have a lot of different obstacles. It's a proper cross-country course, and the brainchild behind it, of course, was Paul Fout. And oh my goodness, I don't do justice to the historian of this race, but anyway, they thought it would be a great opportunity to create some more diversity in steeplechase racing in the United States. Of course, cross-country racing is not new to steeplechasing. It happens worldwide, and they thought to bring it to the United States. So Glenwood Park has a course, Great Meadow has a course, and it's so much fun to watch these races, to see these horses kind of switch gears a little bit. And one face that's new to this group is Belisarius, who we've seen in the graded stakes races going over hurdles for his entire career, and now we're going to see him in the Steeplethon. So very excited about this. The depth of the field is great, and I'm always impressed by these horses that do this. But what are your thoughts on Belisarius making his way into the Steeplethon as we look at the Virginia Equine Alliance race entries, Joe?
Yeah, I think he's pretty fascinating, really. I mean, we know how good he was over hurdles on his best day, and that would make him better than anybody else in here was over hurdles on their best day, most likely. And it's just going to be whether he can handle the variety of jumps, and then, like you touched on, the hairpin turn, which here at Glenwood always seems to come into play. And it's the horse who comes out of that best usually has a lead, and then kind of makes everybody else play catch me if you can from there. And it's fun to see the ones who are really good at it do it. Invocation and Mercure, and it's just kind of a cool group of horses. Like you touched on, this is supposed to be sort of a way to switch gears for horses who might be out of options over hurdles and over timber. Like they just didn't take to either necessarily. I mean, most of these horses have the stamina of a timber horse, but maybe they don't quite have the jumping ability, or they have the jumping ability, but not quite the stamina. So 2 and 5/8 at Middleburg sort of hits them right in the middle somewhere. And it really tests, I think this course tests their tractability as much as anything, where they can listen to the rider, relax when they need to, get a breather, accelerate when they need to, stay in touch. You can't get too far behind, but you also can't be, if you're up there making all the running, you then set yourself up for somebody else to take advantage of one of the twists and turns or a better jump here or there to kind of take control of the race. So it's always fun to watch. And, it seems like you see horses year after year. So you get to see some of them come back and try it again. We watched Invocation win here in the spring, and he's back. Mercure, who to me seems to be a little better over the cross-country course at Great Meadow than he is at Middleburg, is still really tough. And in June, Invocation really handled the turn well, and if he does that well again, and everybody else kind of has a problem, he's going to be very tough to catch from there, because it comes sort of at a crucial time in the race.
So you talked about the course at Great Meadow. It's typically a few furlongs longer in the spring. It's 3 miles. I believe it's the same distance for the fall meet. I try to get away from the word fall because it just it seems funny, but autumn for the autumn meet at Great Meadow.
It's the wrong thing to say about a steeplechase for sure.
I know exactly, and I just had that conversation this week. But 2 different courses, as you touched on. Middleburg, if you've never been to Glenwood, is a more rolling hill kind of course. It's got some ups and downs in it, whereas Great Meadow is primarily flat, other than the hill that goes down the backside and comes in around the turn for the stretch. But there aren't any obstacles in there. It's just a flat run through that part of the race course, but it tends to be just a little bit flatter. So they're 2 different types of race courses, and they suit different horses. As we have seen in the past, we've had horses that really stood out, that really thrive on these types of cross-country courses. Saluda Sam is one that really stands out in my mind in recent years, that just thrived on both these race courses, going over the Steeple Fawn course in particular. But let's talk about what we've got here. We are on the paddock. We can see horses walking around. There's the number 7 Hepcat right there, going forward for Jonathan Shepard and Steve Portman, Gerard Galligan in the saddle. And he did run and finish 3rd at Great Meadow in the Steeple Fawn there, behind Elucidation. And that could set him up for another good run today. He did not run at Middleburg back, you say spring, but it was actually June, even though we associate it with the spring meet. So again, just feels strange this whole year with all the terminology. But definitely Invocation is the horse to beat here. He's the clear winner over this course. He's had 2 starts, a win and a second here at Glenwood, but he was just off the pace in his last race here. And Sean McDermott rode a really good race, very strategic. At one point had the lead by 3 lengths. And as you mentioned, the hairpin turn makes all the difference. I've seen horses come in going into that turn on the lead and come out last. And I've seen horses last going into that and come out on the lead. So that's really kind of where the race is won or lost in my mind. But Invocation, the horse to beat here, but certainly could get a lot of competition for Mercure. And Mercure came back and won against Invocation at Great Meadow. Again, a convincing victory on the front by Tom Garner. So we expect to see Mercure on the lead again, and probably Invocation stalking him, as was the case in their last race against each other. But there are some other horses in here that could make a case for winning today. Who would those be besides the 2 that we've already touched on?
I think Belisarius, you gotta factor in there again, based that hurdle ability is that good. I mean, he was second in the Temple Gwathmey at Middleburg in June, over this course. So to me, he handles the rolling hills and that part of it. It's just gonna be a question whether the jumps, and I wouldn't necessarily, there he is giving his trainer Kate Dalton a hard time. So he's certainly sharp. We saw him at Saratoga where he was running, he was running in Stakes Company there, and he actually had a funny thing where another horse sort of struck into him landing over a fence, and he pulled himself up he wouldn't put any weight on one leg, and it looked terrible, and it actually was more of just like a stinger kind of thing, and he was fine. And he stayed in Saratoga for a little bit because he had to work to get he had to breeze on the track to get off the veterinarians list up there, and then he went back to Bernie and Kate in Camden. And again, he was running in a Temple Gwathmey in June. None of these other horses would have been competitive in the Temple Gwathmey in June. So to me, that ability will serve him really well. It's just a matter of whether he listens to Bernie and relaxes and handles the turns and some of the other stuff he's got to deal with, and obviously jump some timber fences and things like that. you would think they'd have enough chance to get him to jump some different things down in Camden, though it's not quite the same as it would be at a, fox hunting country in Maryland or Pennsylvania or Virginia. But I would think they would, have a chance to get him at least jump something other than the hurdles. And if he can stay close, and he's probably a faster horse from the last fence home than McClure or Invocation. But it should be fun. It's always tactical. It's always fun to watch. I think Skydiving is another horse he ran, got a nice tightener at Foxfield over hurdles. This should be something he would like to do, I would think, too. Again, you don't know until they've done it, but I went with Invocation as my pick. It worries me that he's facing off with McClure again. You see their names in each other's past performances going all the way back to 2018 over hurdles at Far Hills. So it's pretty funny to see them still trading punches. I think McClure is better at a little bit of the distance, and he was kind of coming back at Invocation the last time at Middleburg, and Invocation really made the hairpin turn and took over that day. And if he can try to do the same thing, that's no secret, though. Everybody's going to try to do that. So it'll all be who's sort of in position to take advantage of the turn the best, I think, is how it will turn out, and which horse kind of hugs the inside. Like you said, you've seen horses be last going into it, and they just set themselves up right for it and can be first coming out of it. And it really changes the dynamic of the race at that point.
As you were talking, I was looking at them walking around the paddock, and I saw Bernie Dalton there with the pink colors of Gary Barber and the Brow Stable and Watchell Stable. And I was wondering, gosh, who's that tall jockey he's standing next to? Because Bernie is tall in his own right, but Chris Crazy, my goodness, he looks like he's easily 6 feet tall as he's getting a leg up on Winter Massigo for Richard Valentine and Jackie Orstrom. But Winter Massigo, kind of the unknown in here. He won very, very convincingly 2 years ago down at Montpelier in that $40,000 handicap with Tom Garner, an easy winner by 16 lengths, and then jumped into graded stakes company and did not fare so well. Walked off here at Glenwood in the Temple Gwathmey last year, then came back in the David Sems at Great Meadow and did not fare well, and then was eased back in Saratoga in the AP Smithwick. So I'm not sure how he's coming into this race. We haven't seen him point-to-pointing this September season on, but of course Richard Valentine, the trainer of Champion Demonstrative, certainly would have the opportunity to have schooled his horse a lot and also gotten a lot of hill work into him as he's training over there in the plains. But it'll be interesting to see how Winter Massigo does with this course, but also with Chris Gracie aboard. I don't know that Chris has ridden the Steeplethon course, and I think it's a bit of an eye-opener for those jockeys who've never ridden it before, because that turn, again, is where they all get kind of caught off guard about how to ride it. I think you've got to come into it like a Formula One driver and really pick your line so that you're not so extreme coming in to it, so it's more of a softened curve, if you will. But as we see them heading out to the course now, the call to the post there, the number one, Skydiving, again, Darren Nagel going forward for Hudson River Farm. This horse has likely going to be on the lead as well, since that seems to be where he likes to be, or just sitting off the pace. So in his last race under Eve Ledyard in that hurdle race down at Foxfield last weekend, so he's just coming back with 7 days rest in between. Certainly should be plenty fit, but making his Steeplethon debut, and we'll see what he does. But Darren Nagel certainly knows his way around this race course as they make their way out to the race course. Pepe Le Pew, what do we think about Pepe Le Pew? He's 9-year-old son of Arakan, an Irish bred. He had a good year last year. He had 9 starts, 2 wins, and 3 seconds, but has only had 1 start this year and pulled up at Great Meadow back in June in the Steeplethon over there. So what do you think that Jack has done since then to improve upon this horse?
Yeah, hopefully it's been giving him, trying to give him some confidence, because his 3 American starts were not very good. I think he came over sort of in a tough spot with no real conditions to go, and he had to get dumped into the graded stakes level, and
Right.
and maybe this is the kind of thing you see a horse get a chance at something different, the total change of scenery. Maybe this is the kind of thing that wakes the horse like that up, and he goes back to some of his form from England, because he, like you said, like you touched on, he has won some races. He knows how to win races. And if he jumped around some steeplechase courses and things over there, he's certainly a good enough jumper, and probably experienced over at least some variety of things, because they've at least done some ditches and water jumps or that type of thing. And you gotta respect Jack. I just think sometimes the horses who've been around these courses are the ones with a little more, they just got a little more behind them. They're a little more proven, a little more to go on, and maybe it takes a horse once or twice at it before they start to figure it out. I mean, Belisarius is making his first try at this, but he was clearly a better horse over hurdles here than Pepe Le Pew was. So, it's interesting to kind of see the horses come at it from different angles for sure.
As we see the 7 there, Hepcat, Gerard Galligan definitely has his hands full. That horse is super keen. He's turned out beautifully as well. But I misspoke earlier. His father is the one who's keeping tabs on the jockey standings. He's watching from Ireland, and he tweeted to me to let me know that he was counting the wins that Mikey Mitchell had, because now Sir Jerry has been dethroned, if you will. But the day still has opportunity, and of course we have more race meets coming up for Gerard Galligan to get back on to top of the leaderboard. He could do it here with Hepcat with another win. He could get back into closer contention to Mikey Mitchell. But interesting bunch of horses in here. We haven't touched on Spoiler Alert, this 9-year-old son of Dynaformer, who's been running strictly over timber and has not seen a race since May of 2018, and has no workouts on the workout tab since 2015. So again, a completely unknown coming in here. But Archie McCauley has the mount, and we'll see what Billy Meister has done with this horse for his debut over the Steeplethon course. I haven't seen him yet in the warm-up, but I'm sure we will get a good look at him as we are looking there at, I believe that's Mercure.
He looks
that
cool,
is
doesn't he?
Tom Garner right there. Yeah, he does, just hanging out. So
Tom looks
Tom
like he's
Garner
sitting on a couch.
Yeah, exactly. He had posted on social media his disappointment to not be riding in the Czech Republic in the world's most notorious cross-country race, I can never say it, the Pardubice, I believe. I can't think it. Do you know how it's pronounced? I have to look at it. It's too many.
I think I've Americanized it, so
yes,
I'm not really sure.
Right. It's one of those words that has more consonants than it does vowels, so it's just hard to figure out. But anyway, it's the most notable cross-country race in the world, and Tom is darn near won it, I believe, twice now, and it's always on his radar to go over there and ride. But of course, because of COVID restrictions, he's not able to get out of the United States to ride in that race. So, but he's here with us, and he certainly has a ton of ability around the multi-obstacle courses where we're talking about the Steeplethon with all the different jumps. But we saw them looking at a brush jump earlier. I mean, it's so intimidating when you're on the ground looking at that. It's easily 5.5, 6 feet towering, and they just run through it basically. But if they do try to jump over it, and they have to be nifty and agile jumpers to do well on this race course. As we see them heading down to the start, there's Graham Alcock giving instruction there. His assistant, Hubert Davy, leading one of the horses as they go forward. Joe, last thoughts on the Steeplethon?
Yeah, I think it's going to be Trip. I mean, it's whoever sets themselves up to take advantage of some of the ground-saving opportunities. It's not all that hairpin turn, but that's certainly part of it. There's places to save ground, to save lengths on this course, and whatever jockey and horse, figure out how to do that the best, I think that will be your winner, because they're pretty evenly matched between Invocation, Mercure, Belisarius, and even some of the others who we talked about. I think they're, Hepcat could certainly jump up and run well, but it's going to be whoever can save the ground and produce the best trip. Invocation looks a little tricky to get going here. That's who they were leading around before, and I see the jock kind of pushing them along. So we'll see how that goes. Will O'Keefe's taking over.
And away they go. Mercure puts his head out in front once. Pepe Le Pew is moving alongside. A head separates those two with Hepcat running in third. Invocation jumps in fourth place to Spoiler Alert. Winner Massigo Belisarius. And Skydiving completes the field. McCore on top now by about a length. Pepe Le Pew right there in second place. And here comes Winner Massigo with a bold move, moving from third to first instantly and jumping the next fence. Winner Massigo on top. McCore in second place. Hepcat in third. Pepe Le Pew, Spoiler Alert, Invocation, Belisarius, and Skydiving. As they race towards the next fence, Winner Massigo in the yellow silks has the lead. McCore races in second place, jumping one of the hedges and doing it well. Winner Massigo showing the way under Chris Gracie. McCore follows in second place. Racing in third place is Invocation. At the fifth obstacle, Winner Massigo, McCore, Invocation, Hepcat on the outside, Pepe Le Pew, Spoiler Alert, Belisarius, and Skydiving. Now back on the front end, Winner Massigo, McCore races in second place, closest to him. Hepcat on the outside, Invocation on the inside. Those two race in third and fourth. Pepe Le Pew races in fifth place as they gallop up the hill towards the seventh obstacle. Winner Massigo will be there first. He seems to like the hedges and does it well. McCore follows in second place. Hepcat on the outside of Invocation, Spoiler Alert. Belisarius completes the field with Skydiving right in front of him. They straighten the way down the backside. McCore is challenging for the lead under Thomas Garner. Those two are jumping as a team. McCore with a slight advantage over Winner Massigo. Hepcat racing in third, followed by Invocation. Making the turn, Pepe Le Pew in fifth place. Racing down the hill towards the ninth fence. McCore on top, Winner Massigo following in second place. This is a national fence, or a simulated national fence. McCore, Winner Massigo. Invocation follows in third with Hepcat there also. As they're heading down towards the next fence, McCore has established a clear lead. Winner Massigo continues to go well in second place. Invocation in the green silks now vies for second as McCore jumps the first part of this big in and out. McCore jumps the second part. That was Spoiler Alert that lost his rider. McCore is the one to catch. Hepcat there, Skydiving, Winner Massigo, Invocation. Those group are tightly bunched, but they've all got about 7 or 8 lengths to make up on McCore. As McCore gallops down the backside, I think he's even widened his advantage. Skydiving now moves in to second. Over the next hedge, McCore continues up and racing towards the turn. Skydiving racing in second place. Hepcat is there in third with Invocation in fourth as our leader is still going well. It's McCore and Tom Garner showing the way by about 7 or 8 lengths. Hepcat in second place and saving ground around the turn is Hepcat. Hepcat made up some ground there, but they've got to hurry if they're going to catch McCore. McCore on top, Invocation in second place. McCore going easily on the lead, has at least a 15-length advantage over Invocation, who jumps in second place. Skydiving in third. Hepcat follows. They've got to hurry if they're going to catch McCore, though. He continues to go well on top. But here comes Invocation, gobbling up ground, racing down the backside. Near side now. Invocation trying to get to McCore. McCore under pressure to hold Invocation off. McCore on top. Invocation. Here comes Invocation. And Sean McDermott as they jump the next fence. McCore has the lead. Invocation has the lead. Invocation, McCore, good ways back to Skydiving. Invocation is leading into the stretch. Invocation has won here before. He's going to win here again. Invocation by 2.5 lengths Mercure, Skydiving, Hepcat, Belisarius, and Pepe Le Pew.
No surprise there, Joe. We both had Invocation. I think everybody had Invocation. What a perfectly timed ride by Sean McDermott to make this horse a winner again here over the Steeplethon course at Glenwood Park. Really impressive. And at one point, I think we were all a little bit worried when it came around the hairpin turn around that tree that Mercure had such a commanding lead that nobody would catch him, but he quickly lost that lead. And Sean McDermott was easily the winner under Invocation. Here we see them crossing the final fence.
Yeah, what a fun horse. I mean, he thrives at this, and he's probably just got a little more speed at the 2 5/8 trip than McClure does, and that's why Tom Garner's kind of he wants to get as far in front of Invocation as he can, because he knows his horse will stay on even if he doesn't quite have the kick that Invocation does. Invocation has managed to keep that kick he had over hurdles, and he can translate it to this, and he was a little farther behind than probably Sean wanted to be, especially when they made the hairpin turn. McClure handled it okay. Invocation really cut it, and he passed several other horses there, and then just got himself close enough to use that kick to come get McClure. Fun race as usual, and that's a fun horse to watch, Invocation. And we'll see at Great Meadow in a couple of weeks where the distance goes out to 3 miles. I think that is advantage McClure. So we'll see how it plays out there. But fun edition of the cross-country race around the Alfred Hunt course at Glenwood again.
Yeah, happy to see the connections there of Invocation. Mark Beecher, the trainer, Straylight Racing LLC. Unofficial right now, but let's go ahead and take you back to the beginning of the race for the race replay, brought to you by Bruton Street US, and then we'll come back and bring you the official race results by Brown Advisory.
And away they go. McClure puts his head out in front of once. Pepe Le Pew is moving alongside. A head separates those two with Hepcat running in third. Invocation jumps in fourth place to Spoiler Alert. Winner Massigo Belisarius. And Skydiving completes the field. McClure on top now by about a length. Pepe Le Pew right there in second place. And here comes Winner Massigo with a bold move, moving from third to first instantly and jumping the next fence. Winner Massigo on top. McClure in second place. Hepcat in third. Pepe Le Pew, Spoiler Alert, Invocation, Belisarius, and Skydiving. As they race towards the next fence, Winner Massigo in the yellow silks has the lead. McClure races in second place, jumping one of the hedges and doing it well. Winner Massigo showing the way under Chris Gracie. McClure follows in second place. Racing in third place is Invocation. At the fifth obstacle, Winner Massigo, McClure, Invocation, Hepcat on the outside, Pepe Le Pew, Spoiler Alert, Belisarius, and Skydiving. Now back on the front end, Winner Massigo, McClure races in second place, closest to him. Hepcat on the outside, Invocation on the inside. Those two race in third and fourth. Pepe Le Pew races in fifth place as they gallop up the hill towards the seventh obstacle. Winner Massigo will be there first. He seems to like the hedges and does it well. McClure follows in second place. Hepcat on the outside of Invocation, Spoiler Alert. Belisarius completes the field with Skydiving right in front of him. They straighten the way down the backside. McClure is challenging for the lead under Thomas Garner. Those two are jumping as a team. McClure with a slight advantage over Winner Massigo. Hepcat racing in third, followed by Invocation. Making the turn, Pepe Le Pew in fifth place. Racing down the hill towards the ninth fence. McClure on top, Winner Massigo following in second place. This is a national fence, or a simulated national fence. McClure, Winner Massigo, Invocation follows in third with Hepcat there also. As they're heading down towards the next fence, McClure has established a clear lead. Winter Massico continues to go well in second place. Invocation in the green silks now vies for second as McClure jumps the first part of this big in and out. McClure jumps the second part. That was spoiler alert that lost his rider. McClure is the one to catch. Hepcat there, Skydiving, Winter Massico, Invocation. Those group are tightly bunched, but they've all got about 7 or 8 lengths to make up on McClure. As McClure gallops down the backside, I think he's even widened his advantage. Skydiving now moves in to second. Over the next hedge, McClure continues up and racing towards the turn. Skydiving racing in second place. Hepcat is there in third with Invocation in fourth as our leader is still going well. It's McClure and Tom Garner showing the way by about 7 or 8 lengths. Hepcat in second place and saving ground around the turn is Hepcat. Hepcat made up some ground there, but they've got to hurry if they're going to catch McClure. McClure on top, Invocation in second place. McClure going easily on the lead, has at least a 15-length advantage over Invocation, who jumps in second place. Skydiving in third. Hepcat follows. They've got to hurry if they're going to catch McClure, though. He continues to go well on top. But here comes Invocation, gobbling up ground, racing down the backside. Near side now. Invocation trying to get to McClure. McClure under pressure to hold Invocation off. McClure on top. Invocation. Here comes Invocation. And Sean McDermott as they jump the next fence. McClure has the lead. Invocation has the lead. Invocation, McClure. Good ways back to Skydiving. Invocation is leading into the stretch. Invocation has won here before. He's going to win here again. Invocation by 2.5 lengths. McClure, Skydiving, Hepcat, Belisarius, and Pepe Le Pew.
And we just saw again the race replay of the Kinross Steeple Fawn. The Brown Advisory official results are on your screen. The winner, number 8, Invocation, the favorite coming into this race, trained by Mark Beecher for Straylight Racing LLC. Sean McDermott, the pilot this afternoon. Second, McClure, and third was Skydiving. I think McClure at one point was a good 15 lengths in front of the field. I didn't see that he jumped as well as I've seen him jump in the past. Some of those obstacles he kind of met them a little bit late, or just wasn't quite clearing them as well as I thought I've seen him do in the past, Joe. But nonetheless, another good performance by Invocation today. And as you said, it'll be interesting to see how this changes now 2 weeks from today when they meet at Great Meadow again. Your thoughts on Invocation's win, and also Belisarius? I didn't see him really put in a huge performance this afternoon. I'm wondering if the different obstacles set him back a little bit. What were your thoughts, Joe?
Yeah, you got to give it to Invocation. He ran great. I mean, like he does. I mean, he handles that course so well, and you can, especially on the replay, you can go back and see where Sean just saves a little ground here and there. He's such a good steering horse or something. I mean, he can save. They have the little in and out brush jumps, and then there's no beacon for a while, and he drops way to the inside and kind of cuts the corner. And then that set himself up for the hairpin where he went from 4th to 2nd, and he obviously still had a lot of ground to make up on McClure, but just a fun horse. And if you look at him, that's his 7th win over jumps. He's been worse than 3rd over jumps. He started 20 times over jumps. He's been worse than 3rd twice. That's a pretty cool horse. I mean, and that's over hurdles and over these cross-country races. And that's a fun horse to watch. And, it's a treat to have him come back every year and have, to get to watch him do it. He's done it for several trainers. He's been in the barns of several trainers here in America, and just a fun horse. He thrives at that. But again, I think McClure little better suited to the 3 mile distance. I think his gallop will stand up there a little better than Invocations. Maybe Sean can try to do something a little different in Great Meadow and sit a little closer and still be able to outkick him. But take nothing away from McCurr. I mean, he's always right there too. He ran great again, second to a horse who obviously thrives over that course. And yeah, Belisarius, I don't know whether he didn't like we mentioned that it just seemed odd to see him jumping timber fences. Maybe he didn't like those. I don't know. But it is a little different. Obviously, we touched on that. It's a different kind of jumping test, a little different everything test. And yeah, he was never really in it. I would have thought he would have been closer. You try to ride similarly to Sean on Invocation, because he's kind of the horse to beat, and it didn't look like he could kind of get to him really. So we'll see what happens with him, whether there's another opportunity for a horse like that. His handicap rating, I think, will let him in one of the handicaps we have before the end of the year. So maybe he goes back to hurdles and use this as a tightener to try to get him ready for that. But fun race. Invocation's a cool horse. We should all be thankful we get to see him do it, because he's really good at that.
Yeah, and then Skydiving finished third, and he ran well for Darren Nagel over this course, again making his debut in the Steeplethon division, and not so close to the top 2 finishers, but a good performance nonetheless. Winner Massigo took a big lead there and was jumping really well, especially that first brush jump that we saw him, but clearly the pace caught up with him as he was running quite quickly early on in the early stages of the Steeplethon, the Kinross Steeplethon. So we do have 2 more races. These are particularly geared for the apprentice amateur division, a timber race and a flat race, but we are going to take one more commercial break, and then when we come back, we'll talk about the upcoming 8th race, which is the Middleburg Apprentice Rider Timber Race. Stay tuned.
Easy Fix Stable Solutions are designed to perform. These high-quality interlocking rubber mats offer a safe and comfortable option for reducing the risk of injury to your horse caused by slippage. Designed and manufactured in Ireland, these mats are easy to install in stables, stalls, wash bays, and walkways. Leading horsemen worldwide have been using Easy Fix mats, and now they're available in the U.S. To learn more about Easy Fix Stable Solutions, visit our website, safetyfence.com. Easy Fix is the ultimate stable solution.
Brown Advisory is proud to support the National Steeplechase Association and the Virginia Fall Races. Through investment performance, strategic advice, and the highest level of service, we are committed to making a material and positive difference in the lives of the individuals, families, and institutions we are privileged to serve, and for the communities in which we work and live. We offer a special thanks to the volunteers, horsemen, and the Virginia Fall Race Committee for making today possible in support of the Inova Loudon Hospital Foundation and the Glenwood Park Trust.
Today's live stream is being brought to you by Virginia Equine Alliance, Brown Advisory. Charleston's the Post and Courier, and Bruton Street, U.S.
We are back with the live stream broadcast here on the NSA network, and you just saw the sponsors of our broadcast, Brown Advisory, who are bringing us the race results this afternoon. Charleston's the Post and Courier, who are providing the in-studio format, if you will. Bruton Street US is doing the race replays, and the Virginia Equine Alliance, who's sponsoring the race entries this afternoon. Thank you to all of you for your continued partnership and sponsorship, as we are now up to race number 8 on a 9-race card, the Middleburg Apprentice Rider Race. We are at Glenwood Park in Middleburg for the Virginia Fall Races. We've been racing here since 1955. It's a beautiful race course, as you can see there by the shot, looking up at the hill. That hill is where everybody loves to stand and watch the race course, the tower there, of course, and the colors just starting to come out in the trees. And probably another 2 or 3 weeks, those will be vibrant colors across those trees, and truly is one of the prettiest race courses in all of the United States. So Joe Clancy joins me again. Joe from thisishorseracing.com and the Mid-Atlantic Thoroughbred. Joe, we're up to the 8th race, the Apprentice Rider Timber Race. It's an allowance race. $5,000 is the purse. 5-year-olds and upward, and they are going 3 miles over the timber course. Weight is 170 pounds with a 5-pound allowance allowed. Non-winners of a timber stakes race are allowed that 5 pounds. As we look at the Virginia Equine Alliance race entries right there, we do have a few scratches in here. So the number 1 Puritan is not running. The number 9 Warzel Gummidge is not running, and the number 11 Pocket Talk also scratched, but still a really good race, a wide open race. And I have to say, I think it's really a strong testament to the support that these young riders get from the racing community, that you see trainers bringing horses around that might just be fox hunting or maybe not running regularly on the circuit, but certainly making their starts to give these young riders an opportunity to run in these races. Horses like Hanno, for example, who's actually my top pick in here. He has not raced a lot, but he does fire fresh, and his last time out was in April back last year, and he was ridden by Quinn Scala, who at the time was Jack Fisher's assistant trainer, and he was a closer, and that was really nice to see him win that race under Quinn. But last time out, he was at Shawan in the Apprentice Timber Race, so he does have a race under his belt coming into this race this afternoon for owner Jill Johnston. But there's just a lot of horses in here that I like to see, them coming back around and around again. We've also got a horse like Cheers to Us making his timber debut. So lots of different angles in here to play. Joe, what do you think is the top contender in this race, or who are your top 3 picks, I should say?
Yeah, I think I think Hanno is probably the horse to beat. You're right. I mean, I think he's proven he can do it with an inexperienced jockey, where he did it with Quinn. Doesn't seem to mind coming off a layoff. My pick, Puritan, scratched my first pick, and I scratched it. I had to go look and see who I scratched into, which was Coastal Moon for Todd McKenna, and basically just going off with decent effort at Genesee last fall, and hoping for something similar to that. Chris Gracie rides, and maybe he can pull a little bit of an upset. It's Puritan, to me, had a little bit of he at least won a timber stake and looked like a horse who would have been a little better than some of these in terms of just what he had done so far. But beyond now, it's pretty wide open. I mean, I think you could probably go any direction. It's going to depend on who jumps, who settles, and saves some energy. And we know with some of the inexperienced jockeys or apprentice jockeys, maybe that's harder to do. Just if a horse gets strong, maybe you can't quite get them covered up the way some of the professionals would. So it's going to be the horse that listens and can save something and get into a jumping rhythm. We've seen it in the timber races sort of all day. That's sort of what wins it. I mean, if somebody could negotiate the similar kind of similar kind of trip the way they did it, the way Flash Jackson did in the maiden timber. That's the kind of horse who can win this race. I mean, you got to sort of switch off, save some energy, and then produce late. And late can still be 3 or 4 fences out, just as long as you haven't done too much work early, type of thing.
Yeah, I liked Coastal Moon. He was actually third in the apprentice amateur race, the amateur apprentice race, timber race at Shawan 2 weekends ago. And so that definitely sets him up for Todd McKenna and connections coming in here. Rocket Star Red was another horse that I liked. He was 5th in the apprentice timber at Shawan. Mark Beecher just won that last race with Invocation. Again, very, very, very good trainer. Lots of success in the saddle as a jockey as well. And Brett Owings takes the mount this afternoon for this horse, who we hadn't seen since last fall. And of course, that would be the norm for timber horses, especially with the spring completely wiped out. But again, that point-to-point race at Shawan should set him up to be in a better spot here. But, a lot of these horses coming in with the Timber Stakes experience. You've got Sovereign Fund, who've been banging around with all the Timber Stakes up in the Grand National and the Pennsylvania Hunt Cup and Willowdale and just going around there. He was 7th at Shawan in the Apprentice Timber Race with Mel Boucher riding today for trainer Todd McKenna. And then also you've got the likes of Canyon Road, who's been in the same stakes. Stand Down has been in those same stakes. So experience for the horse is nearly as important in these types of races as are the jockeys, because like you said, a lot of these jockeys don't have that experience yet going over the big fences. You've got the likes of Archie McCauley, who's actually the only jockey, I believe, on the day. He is the only jockey today that's riding all 9 races, because he has been riding very well with the seasoned riders, but the professional jockeys, and he's been riding in the circuit now for a couple of years at that level, but still considered an apprentice. And then you've got the likes of Colin Smith, who just started riding this year under rules, and Mel Boucher, who is really making a big go of it this year. Her father, of course, retired jockey Richard Boucher, and her mother Lilith. But yeah, it's a really good race to see, and definitely pace will be something to consider. Experience for both horse and rider. So when you take a horse like Cheers to Us, who is making a timber debut, Ricky Hendricks, the trainer for his mother, Wendy Hendricks, and of course his son, McLean, likely been fox hunting this horse. He actually texted me and said that he fox hunted Surprising Soul this morning, and I excited for the next line that I read, that he said Surprising Soul will likely make his timber debut at Callaway Gardens later this season. So that's something to look forward to. But same connections. But certainly a horse that we should keep our eye on as they are in the paddock right now, because of the fact that he doesn't have that seasoned timber experience, but has likely been schooling well at home and fox hunting there in Pennsylvania quite a bit since the fox hunting season started. There we see him right there in front of that beautiful gray, which is Class Indian. What else should we be looking for?
So is Ricky watching from home? Is Ricky watching from
He
home?
is.
Is that how you're getting these texts? Okay.
Yeah.
Just checking.
Yeah,
like
he's
it.
watching from. He's going to a wedding today, and
Okay.
he's not at the races, but obviously tuned in. So yeah, it's good to get the inside scoop from Ricky. He's always very forthright with the information, and I like catching up with him usually before the races. But it's good to have the phone with the text messages rolling in as well. But anyway, yeah, he is home
Cheers
watching.
to Us would be interesting a little bit based on his hurdle. I mean, his hurdle form was, he had enough speed to be, to win twice over hurdles, and whether he can translate that to timber. I mean, and he won a point to point, and I'm at Blue Ridge. Blue Ridge. But you just, again, you don't know how any of it's going to play out here, where you've just got a little more competition and a little more going on than some of the point to points. But you would think he's ready, and you would think, I would think Coastal Moon is ready. You would think Rocket Star Red, for again, Mark Beecher knows what to do and can get a horse ready. So yeah, it's just going to be the horse. It's going to be horses that find a way to find a rhythm over jumps, and not get themselves either going too fast early or into a jumping spot that either the horse's inexperience or the rider's inexperience gets them into. So fun race to watch. We'll see how it plays out. It'll be interesting. There'll probably be a line of all the professional jockeys standing on the rail watching this to see how the newcomers do it there.
Yeah, so as we see riders making their way to get on their horses, we are about to get riders up, but I think we're going to take a really quick commercial break and then come back as they are warming up in the race course for this upcoming 8th race. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be close to the start for the upcoming Apprentice Rider Timber.
Easy Fix products are designed to perform. Leading horsemen worldwide choose durable products from Easy Fix for their quality, safety, and ease of use. Their internationally approved racecourse style hurdles have the look and feel of natural fences and are used at top schooling grounds and race meets in the U.S. and abroad. Also from Easy Fix, stable solutions for top performance in stalls, wash bays, and walkways. To learn more, visit our website, safetyfence.com.
Brown Advisory is proud to support the National Steeplechase Association and the Virginia Fall Races. Through investment performance, strategic advice, and the highest level of service, we are committed to making a material and positive difference in the lives of the individuals, families, and institutions we are privileged to serve, and for the communities in which we work and live. We offer a special thanks to the volunteers, horsemen, and the Virginia Fall Race Committee for making today possible in support of the Inova Loudon Hospital Foundation and the Glenwood Park Trust.
This November, the thrill of thoroughbred racing returns with Steeplechase of Charleston. Enjoy world-class athleticism, fierce competition, and an afternoon of intimate gatherings with friends and family. Located at the beautiful Stono Ferry Racecourse. The 2020 event offers additional safety enhancements like increased sanitation stations and touchless checkout in our open-air vendor village. And you'll notice some extra space surrounding your tailgate this year to enjoy a socially distant gathering with loved ones while cheering on your favorite horses in 5 high-stakes races. Join us on November 15th for this quintessential celebration of fall in the Low Country. Steeplechase of Charleston.
And welcome back, everybody. We are now up to race number 8 as we see the apprentice riders going postward in the Apprentice Rider Timber race here at Glenwood Park for the Virginia Fall Races. We are watching as they are warming up. Heading to the start, Joe Clancy again joins me as we're looking at this 3-mile timber race. It's an allowance race with a $5,000 purse. And we see there Rocket Star Red jogging down to have a look at one of the fences with jockey Brett Owings in the saddle. But Joe, we both like Hanno right there, number 4. And this horse last seen at Shawan in the Apprentice Timber race there. Aaron Davis has the mount for Jack Fisher and Jill Johnson. This horse lightly raced, but certainly races well when he's fresh, and we know he likes to take care of the apprentice riders. So he's my top pick in here. And there's just an interesting bunch of horses, some with a lot of experience, some with far less. We're looking at the number 6 right there, Sovereign Fund for Todd McKenna, Mel Boucher in the saddle, another really promising up-and-coming young rider. This horse 7th last time out in the Apprentice Timber race at Shawan. But, you know, it's always a fun race to watch. And, of course, another great opportunity for the apprentice jockeys to have some more experience under their belts, and very important for them as they're making their way forward in the NSA.
Yeah, I mean, and when you can do it with seasoned timber horses like this is probably a good thing. I mean, you know, the horses have all either run well enough under NSA rules or at the point-to-points to be decent mounts for some inexperienced riders, and a lot of them have sort of teamed up with horses that they've ridden a couple of times, which I'm sure helps too, where you're don't have to quite familiarize yourself with a new horse every time, which has got to be a good thing. And hopefully it's all safe trips around, and again, I think some of it's all going to come down to the trip, who can get their horse to relax and stay the 3 miles and find a nice rhythm. So looks like they're getting ready to line up here as they come across, and we'll see how it goes.
Yep, we're going to let Will O'Keefe call this race, and we'll recap it shortly thereafter.
The flag is about to be up. It is up. That can only mean it is almost post time. And away they go. Coastal Moon on the outside without more ado. Here comes Class Indian and Justin Batoff to take the lead. Class Indian on top without more ado races in second place. Rocket Star Red is closer to the leaders. As they jump the first fence, Class Indian is there first without more ado. Moving up on the outside, Rocket Star Red. Cheers to Us on the inside. And Coastal Moon is vying for third. They head towards the fence in front of the stand. Class Indian on top without more ado races in second place. Rocket Star Red jumping in third. Class Indian lost some ground there without more ado. Close up in second place. On the inside, Rocket Star Red. On the outside, Coastal Moon. And completing the field is It's Nothing as they race away from us. Tightly bunched as the field, except for It's Nothing. Racing up the hill now towards the third. Class Indian on top without more ado is followed by Coastal Moon and Sovereign Fun. Rocket Star Red is there also, and the leader, Class Indian, is over the next fence. Without more ado has stalked him a good portion of this race so far. Coastal Moon on the outside, Sovereign Fun. Rocket Star Red moving up on the inside to vie for third with Coastal Moon. On the outside, Sovereign Fun moving up. It's Nothing is the trailer as they gallop down the backside. Class Indian running and jumping over the fourth fence without more ado follows in second place. Sovereign Fun and Coastal Moon, the McKenna pair, are doing well in third and fourth place. Rocket Star Red, Cheers to Us. Hanno on the outside, Stand Down is there also, and Canyon Road completes that part of the field as they race down the backside. Without More Ado has gone to the lead under Skylar McKenna. Racing in second place is Class Indian. Coastal Moon moving up in third place with Rocket Star Red there also. They continue in that order going over that fence. And racing on the front end is Without More Ado. Sovereign Fun on the extreme outside is moving up to challenge Class Indian for second with Sovereign Fun and Coastal Moon right behind Class Indian. Jumping the next fence Without More Ado has the lead. Class Indian follows in second place. Coastal Moon on the outside, Sovereign Fun right behind him. Rocket Star Red is there also with Hanno, Stand Down, and Canyon Road as they race towards the 8th of 15 fences. Without More Ado has led for a good portion of the race. Class Indian, the early leader, is still racing in second place. Rocket Star Red moving up on the inside. Sovereign Fun and Coastal Moon there also as they race towards the fence in front of the stand. Coming towards the fence Without More Ado on top. Cheers to Us has now moved up to challenge Class Indian for second. They jump in this order. Without More Ado, Class Indian, Cheers to Us, Rocket Star Red. Coastal Moon on the inside is Stand Down. Canyon Road there also, and completing the field is It's Nothing, who is well out of it. Coastal Moon on the outside. Without More Ado on the inside, and Class Indian right in the middle of those three, heading towards the 10th fence. Coastal Moon has the lead. Class Indian jumps right alongside Coastal Moon, and Without More Ado is close up in third. Cheers to Us and McLean Hendricks moving up into fourth place with Rocket Star Red alongside. Stand Down is there also. As they straighten away down the backside of the races on the front end, Class Indian has regained the advantage. Cheers to Us went well over that one. Now is challenging for second. That's Coastal Moon, though, on top, not on top, vying for the lead with Class Indian there also. Cheers to Us in third, and without more ado, trying to come back in fourth place. Class Indian with 3 fences to go. This is in second place. Coastal Moon there also with a very slight lead. Coastal Moon on Class Indian. Cheers to Us went well over that one and jumps into second place without more ado. And Skylar McKenna trying to come back again from third place. Class Indian races in fourth as they gallop down into the final 3/8 of a mile, heading towards and over the next fence. Cheers to Us is now the one to catch. Coastal Moon in second place. Without more ado, takes over second place. Coastal Moon dropping in third. Cheers to Us is the one to catch, though, as they race towards the final fence. Without more ado, having the best chance because they're right off of him in second place. Cheers to Us with the lead. Cheers to Us on top without more ado, trying to come back again. Has to hurry if he's going to catch Cheers to Us. Cheers to Us and McLean Hendricks on top as they turn for home. It's going to be Cheers to Us. A good effort without more ado, but it's all Cheers to Us to win it by about 4 lengths. Cheers to Us. Without more ado, Class Indian, Coastal Moon, Rocket Star Red, Canyon Road, Sovereign Fountain.
Hey, Ricky Hendricks, if you are still watching the show, a hearty congratulations and cheers to us, unofficial winner of the Apprentice Rider Timber Race, the Middleburg Apprentice Rider Timber Race. What a great ride by McLean on this horse, well timed for Wendy Hendricks and his grandmother, of course, and timber debut for this horse. So, Ricky, text me and let me know what you've been doing with this horse to get him fit for the victory today. What a nice ride by McLean. Really well timed. As we see here, Skylar McKenna in second place. She did a nice job with this horse. Without more ado, getting Lasix for the first time. I thought he might come back a little bit closer, but clearly the winner was the 10 Cheers to Us. Joe, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, McLean picked his way into the race really well. I think that's key for a young rider or an inexperienced rider, and in a 3-mile timber race. I mean, the horses who were doing Class Indian is good to hang on there for third, but he was setting most of the pace and sort of got tired. Cheers to Us was in mid-pack and then just sort of found a rhythm and worked his way into it, was following Coastal Moon. Coastal Moon sort of got in front or up close, but then flattened out, and then Cheers to Us just took over from there. Without more ado was strong too, but again, he was probably a little too forward too soon, where maybe he could have saved some of that energy in the second mile for the third mile. But good effort there. I'm sure that could be a fun timber horse for McLean, and go on and do some different stuff with. And that was a good effort, and did the apprentice riders proud for sure.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more about that last comment. And of course, Cheers to Us, a 7-year-old son of Artie Schiller out of a Dynaformer mare, so certainly bred to love running long on the turf. And again, really nice ride by McLean Hendricks here on this horse for his grandmother, Wendy Hendricks. So let's go ahead and take you back to the race replay of the 8th race at Glenwood Park, the Virginia Fall races.
The winner of the Middleburg Apprentice Rider Timber Race.
And away they go.
Chase Foundation.
Coastal Moon on the outside without more ado. Here comes Class Indian and Justin Batoff to take the lead. Class Indian on top without more ado, races in second place. Rocket Star Red is closer to the leaders. As they jump the first fence, Class Indian is there first. Without more ado, moving up on the outside, Rocket Star Red. Cheers to Us on the inside. And Coastal Moon is vying for third. They head towards the fence in front of the stand. Class Indian on top. Without more ado, races in second place. Rocket Star Red jumping in third. Class Indian lost some ground there. Without more ado, close up in second place. On the inside, Rocket Star Red. On the outside, Coastal Moon. And completing the field is It's Nothing as they race away from us. Tightly bunched as the field, except for It's Nothing. Racing up the hill now towards the third. Class Indian on top without more ado is followed by Coastal Moon and Sovereign Fun. Rocket Star Red is there also, and the leader, Class Indian, is over the next fence. Without more ado has stalked him a good portion of this race so far. Coastal Moon on the outside, Sovereign Fun. Rocket Star Red moving up on the inside to vie for third with Coastal Moon. On the outside, Sovereign Fun moving up. It's Nothing is the trailer as they gallop down the backside. Class Indian running and jumping over the fourth fence. Without more ado follows in second place. Sovereign Fun and Coastal Moon. The McKenna pair are doing well in third and fourth place. Rocket Star Red, Cheers to Us. Hanno on the outside, Stand Down is there also. And Canyon Road completes that part of the field as they race down the backside. Without more ado has gone to the lead under Skylar McKenna. Racing in second place is Class Indian. Coastal Moon moving up in third place with Rocket Star Red there also. They continue in that order going over that fence. And racing on the front end is Without More Ado. Sovereign Fun on the extreme outside is moving up to challenge Class Indian for second with Sovereign Fun and Coastal Moon right behind Class Indian. Jumping the next fence Without More Ado has the lead. Class Indian follows in second place. Coastal Moon on the outside, Sovereign Fun right behind him. Rocket Star Red is there also with Hanno, Stand Down, and Canyon Road as they race towards the 8th of 15 fences. Without More Ado has led for a good portion of the race. Class Indian, the early leader, is still racing in second place. Rocket Star Red moving up on the inside. Sovereign Fun and Coastal Moon there also as they race towards the fence in front of the stand. Coming towards the fence, Without More Ado on top. Cheers to Us has now moved up to challenge Class Indian for second. They jump in this order. Without More Ado, Class Indian, Cheers to Us, Rocket Star Red. Coastal Moon on the inside is Stand Down. Canyon Road there also, and completing the field is It's Nothing, who is well out of it. Coastal Moon on the outside, Without More Ado on the inside, and Class Indian right in the middle of those three, heading towards the 10th fence. Coastal Moon has the lead. Class Indian jumps right alongside Coastal Moon, and Without More Ado is close up in third. Cheers to Us and McLean Hendricks moving up into a fourth place with Rocket Star Red alongside. Stand Down is there also. As they straighten away down the backside, the race is on the front end. Class Indian has regained the advantage. Cheers to Us went well over that one. Now is challenging for second. That's Coastal Moon, though, on top. Not on top, lying for the lead with Class Indian there also. Cheers to Us in third, and Without More Ado trying to come back in fourth place. Class Indian with 3 fences to go. Races in second place. Coastal Moon there also with a very slight lead. Coastal Moon on Class Indian. Cheers to Us went well over that one and jumps into second place Without More Ado. And Skylar McKenna trying to come back again from third place. Class Indian races in fourth as they gallop down into the final 3/8 of a mile, heading towards and over the next fence. Cheers to Us is now the one to catch Coastal Moon in second place. Without More Ado takes over second place. Coastal Moon dropping in third. Cheers to Us is the one to catch, though, as they race towards the final fence. Without More Ado having the best chance because they're right off of him in second place. Cheers to Us with the lead. Cheers to Us on top Without More Ado trying to come back again. Has to hurry if he's going to catch Cheers to Us. Cheers to Us and McLean Hendricks on top as they turn for home. It's going to be Cheers to Us. A good effort Without More Ado, but it's all Cheers to Us to win it by about 4 lengths. Cheers to Us Without more ado, Class Indian, Coastal Moon, Rocket Star Red, Canyon Road.
And there we see the winner, the official winner, thanks to Brown Advisory for the race replay. Actually, Bruton Street US for the race replay. And the official results from Brown Advisory. I've got to keep all my Mike Henkin sponsorship straight here. But anyway, official results. The number 10, Cheers to Us, for the family. Wendy Hendricks, the owner, Ricky Hendricks, the trainer, and McLean Hendricks, the jockey this afternoon. Nice ride by McLean. You know, he's not a newcomer to the scene. We've seen him do a lot of riding. He was doing a lot of timber riding for Richard Valentine and earlier years, and definitely one of the older, more seasoned apprentices that we have in the division right now. But I think that Skylar McKenna gave a great ride to Without More Ado, who ran second. That horse was definitely giving her a handful in the early stages of the race, getting Lasix for the first time this afternoon, and still running and jumping quite well near the lead, whereas Cheers to Us was further to the back. And I think that we'll see better things from Without More Ado for Connections, Irv Naylor, Kathy Nelson, and Skylar, based on today's performance, making his timber debut. But Joe, nothing to take away from Cheers to Us. Definitely an easy winner here this afternoon at Virginia Fall Races.
Yeah, he did that well. You could really see it on the replay. I mean, he kind of let everybody else use their energy, and he's like, "Oh no, I'm gonna let you. Okay, go ahead, you do that. I'll stay back here." And then he just, he's fourth, he's third, he's second, he's in front, and he, coasts home. Pretty nice horse. Doing a little pedigree research, he's a half brother to Focus Group, who was a grade 2 winner on the turf. So, some of that ability toward the end was kicking in, I would think. And looks like it could be a fun timber horse for McLean to ride this fall and even on into next spring.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more on that. I'm a little disappointed in Hano. Didn't look like he ever picked up his head. Didn't really show any gusto there. He was towards the back of the pack for the entire race, just kind of loafing along there. Didn't seem to have the desire to really get competitive in the field. So anyway, I'm sure they'll be fox hunting him this fall, and we'll see more from him hopefully in the upcoming steeplechase meets as we continue on through the National Steeplechase Association season. Joe, we have one more commercial break, and then when we come back, we've got our finale, which is the Glenwood Apprentice Rider Training Flat Race, and got some changes in there to tell everybody about, but we've got one more race, so stick around as we go through this commercial break.
Easy Fix Stable Solutions are designed to perform. These high-quality interlocking rubber mats offer a safe and comfortable option for reducing the risk of injury to your horse caused by slippage. Designed and manufactured in Ireland, these mats are easy to install in stables, stalls, wash bays, and walkways. Leading horsemen worldwide have been using Easy Fix mats, and now they're available in the U.S. To learn more about Easy Fix Stable Solutions, visit our website, safetyfence.com. Easy Fix is the ultimate stable solution.
Brown Advisory is proud to support the National Steeplechase Association and the Virginia Fall Races. Through investment performance, strategic advice, and the highest level of service, we are committed to making a material and positive difference in the lives of the individuals, families, and institutions we are privileged to serve, and for the communities in which we work and live. We offer a special thanks to the volunteers, horsemen, and the Virginia Fall Race Committee for making today possible in support of the Inova Loudon Hospital Foundation and the Glenwood Park Trust.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. It is the finale on a fantastic 9-race card, the Virginia Fall Races from Glenwood Park in Middleburg, Virginia. We are on the 9th race, which is the Glenwood Apprentice Rider Training Flat Race. And of course, before we jump into that, I do want to thank our major sponsors, Brown Advisory, Charleston's Post and Courier, the Bruton Street Stable, and of course, the Virginia Equine Alliance for bringing today's live stream broadcast to all of you, wherever you are. I know some of you are across the pond, so thank you for tweeting along with us this afternoon. And of course, all of the race replays will be available on the NSA website, nationalsteeplechase.com. Of course, you can get all the updates and the latest information as well from the Temple Gwathmey Steeplechase Foundation. They have their own website. They have a newsletter. I highly recommend that you sign up for it, where you can keep up to date with all the latest and greatest, not only on the race recaps and great photos by Todd Marks and Betsy Burke Parker, but also Betsy's fantastic writing and bringing us the legends of steeplechase, as well as fantastic features and really interesting articles about what's happening in and around horse country on the East Coast of the United States, and particularly with the steeplechase community. There's a lot of information there. And then, of course, you can always log on to thisishorseracing.com, where Joe Clancy and his crew pick up all of the latest and greatest, not only with the jump racing community, but they also do a lot with the flat racing and then the Mid-Atlantic Thoroughbred. Joe, I should be working for you. I mean, come on, I'm giving you all these shout outs. It's pretty crazy, right? That I get to give you guys all these great shout outs every weekend in and out. But you guys do a phenomenal job bringing all of the news and the features, which I love, particularly the one about Barkley Tagg in the latest issue of the Mid-Atlantic Thoroughbred, of course, a trainer of Tiz the Law, who had a workout this morning at Belmont Park in anticipation of the Breeders' Cup. So what do you know about Tiz the Law as he's prepping for the Breeders' Cup and any other Breeders' Cup horses that you can give us some quick insight on?
I wish I'd seen him, in the flesh, but he's certainly done. He keeps doing stuff, and it'll be interesting to see how he does in the Breeders' Cup. I know he had a fast workout a week ago, probably faster than they might have wanted to, but he's a fast horse, and they do that sometimes. He worked today. It sounded like much more under control. And I saw Barkley Tagg at Fasig-Tipton the other day, and in typical Barkley-isms, I didn't get many words, but I got he's a pleasure out of the horse about how good he was doing. So I think the horse is doing fine. It'll be interesting to see how he can do against older horses and against some of these other horses who have gone on and run again, and see who shows up in the Breeders' Cup Classic. I know a 3-year-old won the Jockey Club Gold Cup today, so the older horse division might not be that tough, and it might set it up for some of those horses like that. I love the way Tiz the Law runs. He's just a kind of gallops along at his pace and picks it up, and it's can you keep coming? He's gonna keep running. Can you? I think the 1.25 miles probably fine for him at Keeneland. And Tom Stay-Taz, another horse coming back. He kind of ran once at Saratoga and then sort of pointed straight for the Breeders' Cup, and he's been prepping really well at Churchill. So I think he's another one. He might be my favorite older horse, or the top older horse. I would think could be a threat in a Breeders' Cup Classic for sure.
He was a cover boy for the Steeplechase Times too this summer. But for people who are new to steeplechasing, maybe they know Barkley from flat racing, but don't know that Barkley has a very long-standing career with steeplechase racing first. And of course, you touched on that. You did a fantastic feature article. So if you're interested in learning more about Barkley Tagg and his steeplechase riding career, I definitely encourage you to pick up the latest issue of the Mid-Atlantic Thoroughbred, where Joe did a really phenomenal story on Barkley, his history in steeplechasing, but then also bringing it forward with all the other amazing horses that he's trained. He was really well known with fillies, actually, on the flat, and just has had a very storied fantastic career and deserves to be in the Hall of Fame should that opportunity ever present itself. But it's always fun keeping up with you guys. There's a lot of information out there, and I encourage anybody who's watching this broadcast right now to pick up the Mid-Atlantic Thoroughbred or to log on to thisishorseracing.com. Of course, the nationalsteeplechase.com website is also another great resource for all the information you need for American jump racing. So we're done with the jump racing portion of the card, Joe, but we do have this flat race, and it is for the apprentice riders. It's restricted, the Middlebrook Apprentice Rider Race. As we see the horses in the paddock, there are a handful of maidens going forward, and unfortunately, they have to run against New Member, who was a standout in this race, but we do have some scratches to tell you about. So as we take a look at the Virginia Equine Alliance entries, we're going to see that the number 2 Berkasa was scratched, the number 3 Mutasawe was scratched, the number 4 Howman was scratched, and the number 5 Cloud Base was also scratched. It started out as a 12-horse race. It's scratched down now to 8 horses, but the horse that really stands out in here is the number 8, and that's New Member. He was competitive in the Grade 1 stakes. He actually ran in the Grade 3 Temple Guelph meet, but he was pulled up by jockey Willie McCarthy back in June. Then he ran at Saratoga in a $50,000 handicap, was 4th. Then 2nd in another $50,000 handicap with Mikey Mitchell in the attack, beaten that day by Iranistan, who was the novice champion going back 2 years ago. Jack Fisher sends this horse out for Armada Stables with Teddy Davies in the saddle, carrying 140 pounds with that 5-pound allowance. So New Member for me is the horse really to be the one that is the contender here. But there are some other horses in here, Joe, that should also gain some interest. So let's talk through who some of those other contenders are.
Yeah, I had picked Mutasawe just based on his form in some of these flat races, and he's a scratch. So we're scratching into On a Rock, another horse from Neil Morris's barn, and makes his debut for Neil, but ran well enough on the flat when he was with Tom Proctor. He won 3 times on the turf for him, and just looks like a horse who probably handle this. It's a little tricky. New Member will be tough. It's just a little tricky to know what his flat form is going to be like or what his flat ability is going to be like. We've seen him run over hurdles so much, and I'm sure Jack's trying to sharpen him up a little bit because he maybe wasn't quite doing what he wanted him to do in some of his hurdle races, and this will probably help. But it's competitive. I mean, Neil's got another horse, Oceanographer, who has a right to run fairly well. Doug Fout's got one. Lyle Boucher, David Bork, who we saw won a race. It's a competitive group, like always. And what they're also trying to this race serves 2 purposes. It gives apprentice riders some experience for sure in a race as opposed to just practicing at home. And then it sets some of these horses up as a prep for other races. I mean, New Member is probably looking to run I think there's a 130 handicap here in a few weeks that would suit him over hurdles, and he's trying to sharpen up for that. And Neil's probably got his horses thinking about some maiden hurdle races too, and this will get him used to what a steeplechase race meet and what running along on the turf is like, and carrying the kind of weight they'll have to carry in a jump race too. So the race is a bit of a tool, basically. It's a tool for a trainer and for the jockeys to learn a little something about themselves and the horses.
Definitely all true facts, of course. And I also like Neil's 2 horses. We saw him win 3 races last weekend at Foxfield, and he had the flat races pretty much locked up. So I do also like On a Rock and Oceanographer. But we have a 3-year-old filly in here. So Dougie Fout has Peggy Steinman's homebred Investor. She's by even the score out of a Dynaformer mare. She's had 1 start at Pimlico, going a mile and a 16th. She was not beaten horribly in her first start, but she gets an ultralight today at 132 with Colin Smith in the saddle. And we still need to find out the story on Colin Smith, but he's been riding this year so far, and just need to know more about who he is and what his steeplechasing background is. I know when I talked with Kathy Nelson earlier this year, she had mentioned him, and of course, deservedly in this group of young apprentice riders as they're coming forward. But I also like Mutasawe, unfortunately scratched, but there are definitely some other horses in here. take a look at, you mentioned Lila Boucher, the number 9, True Calling, another 3-year-old, and this one ridden by her daughter Mel Boucher, also getting in super late at 135. The difference between he and Investor with those 3 pounds is that Investor is a filly, and she gets an additional break because of that gender difference. We see right there the number 6 galloping down to the start. That's Oceanographer with Brian Cullinane, another one of our apprentice riders who's had a little bit more experience in the past couple of years than some of these younger riders. Again, age being something that they have to be a certain age before they can start riding. I think 16 is the actual number, the magic number before they can start riding under rules. And then there, number 10, Jimmy Legs.
That's for the Seinfeld fans, because Kramer had the Jimmy leg at one point, you know, or something like that. You're gonna have to look that up.
For best turned out.
Trained by David. Yeah. So anyway, this horse, another 3-year-old. Of this race, it is for 3-year-olds and up, and they are going 1.5 miles on the turf, and it's a training flat race, so the purse is $1. I'd like to see how they do that. Do they do the 60% to the winner? 60 cents and break it down from there?
The purse is actually zero, but the computer makes them put a number in, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Very funny, but nonetheless, it'd be funny to see them divvy up $1. They should all just donate it to the clerk of scales or somebody for having to weigh them in and out all day long. But we do see them down at the start. They're going to take orders from Graham Alcock one final time today, and of course Willow Keefe, who is the voice of Virginia racing, as well as some other of our more historied race meets like the Maryland Hunt Cup, is going to give us the final call of the race today. Joe, final thoughts before they spring them from start here.
No, it's just been a cool day of racing as usual, and this is a nice way to finish it off, give some riders and some horses a chance. And you know, you want to watch this if you're trying to pick hurdle winners in a couple of weeks, because you got some horses prepping here, and you can learn a little bit as to who does what. Fun race like we've had all day, and we'll see how they go. I mean, it's interesting. It's like some of these horses are really on their toes, and then you see another, that Coco de Mama, number 1, is just walking along. He's like, I've been here before. Just follow me. He's the old pro of the gang. And some of the newcomers are like, what is this? What am I doing here? So it'll be fun to see. Willow Keefe's going to call him, and should be a good finale to the day.
Lining up across the course. The flag is up. And they're off and running. Jimmy Legs goes to the lead at once. True Calling on the inside of Oceanographer. As they go down the backside, Jimmy Legs has about 1.5 lengths advantage, make it less than that over True Calling. And now moving up his new member to join the group that's vying for second behind Jimmy Legs. Jimmy Legs is battling now with True Calling on the outside. Jimmy Legs on the inside, followed by new member, Oceanographer, Investor, Street Review, Honor Rock, and Coco de Mama completes the field. One more time to go around after this. Mel Boucher on the outside of True Calling, vying for the lead with Jimmy Legs. Jimmy Legs on the inside, True Calling on the outside. Those two racing at the team about 3.5 lengths in front of new member with Oceanographer on the inside, Investor on the outside. Honor Rock is there too with Street Review, and Coco de Mama brings up the rear. They've got about 3/4 mile or a bit more than that to go. Jimmy Legs, True Calling on the outside, taking the long route. Jimmy Legs on the inside should be saving some ground. Those two are still hooked up on the front end with new member in third. Investor races in 4th place, followed by Oceanographer. Honor Rock has moved up with Street Review there also, and the trailer's Coco de Mama. The race is on the front end, where Mel Boucher and True Calling have gone to about 1.5 lengths to 2 lengths lead. Jimmy Legs races in 2nd place with new member right alongside. New member maybe go in second now. Jimmy Legs in third. Oceanographer is making a good move with Investor right alongside. 5 lengths separates the first 6 horses as they race into the final 3/8 of a mile. True Calling on top. New member in second place. New member and Teddy Davies now going to the front. New member has the lead. Investor is making up ground with Colin Smith up. Investor trying to get there. New member trying to hold him off. New member on top. Investor saving ground on the inside and making up some ground. And here they come. It's New member and Investor. About a neck between those two. New member, Investor, On a Rock, and True Calling.
So, Joe, it looks like Class of the Field New member gets the job done there. And it looks like number 7 New member, unofficially the winner. Nice big gallop out. I know I did see something very particular about them galloping out that they had to pull up before they got to the pond, or they'd get fined for that. I don't think they want the horses galloping out an entire turn there at Glenwood. But anyway, number 7, New member, Jack Fisher, Armada Stables, Teddy Davies in the saddle. Number 8, Investor, looks like he finished second with Colin Smith. The 3-year-old filly getting 132 pounds as we see them coming into the stretch here. And who was your horse that you were rooting on here?
He was third. Ran okay on a rock. Didn't kick on, but that'll set New member up for a hurdle race. He probably liked that. I would think that that was a good effort. Sometimes older horses, need a little sharpener like that. He's probably really happy and confident with himself after winning a race like that, and off he goes to a hurdle start at some point.
Yeah, and he won't get 140 pounds over the hurdles, so he's probably happy to get that weight off his back. But for those of you who are keeping tabs, Teddy Davies is the son of Joe Davies, and the combination of Blythe and Miller Davies. Of course, Blythe was 2-time champion jockey for the NSA many years ago, and of course they have a fantastic program as well, and have trained several horses to victory in their partnership together. But nice to see Teddy have a win here. I have to say, Coco de Mama didn't run very well. He was just kind of to the back of the pack, but sure is galloping back nicely. I'd say put him in the dressage ring or make him an eventer. Boy, he sure does make a picture there with that arch in his neck and his head bowed nicely. But anyway, we will go ahead and take you back to the start of this race so we can watch the full race replay of the 9th race, the Glenwood Apprentice Rider Training Flat Race from Glenwood Park.
Running. Jimmy Legs goes to the lead at once. True Calling on the inside of Oceanographer. As they go down the backside, Jimmy Legs has about a 1.5 lengths advantage, make it less than that over True Calling. And now moving up is New member to join the group to try buying for second behind Jimmy Legs. Jimmy Legs is battling now with True Calling on the outside. Jimmy Legs on the inside, followed by New member, Oceanographer, Investor, Street Review, On a Rock, and Coco de Mama completes the field. One more time to go around after this. Mel Boucher on outside of True Calling, vying for the lead with Jimmy Legs. Jimmy Legs on the inside, True Calling on the outside. Those two racing at the team about 3.5 lengths in front of New member with Oceanographer on the inside, Investor outside. On a Rock is there too with Street Review, and Coco de Mama brings up the rear. They've got about 3/4 of a mile or a bit more than that to go. Jimmy Legs, True Calling on the outside, taking the long route. Jimmy Legs on the inside should be saving some ground. Those two are still hooked up on the front end with New member in third. Investor races in 4th place, followed by Oceanographer. On a Rock is moved up with Street Review there also, and the trailer's Coco de Mama. The race is on the front end where Mel Boucher and True Calling have gone to about 1.5 lengths to 2 lengths lead. Jimmy Legs races in 2nd place with New member right alongside. New member maybe go in second now. Jimmy Legs in third. Oceanographer is making a good move with Investor right alongside. 5 lengths separates the first 6 horses as they race into the final 3/8 of a mile. True Calling on top, New Member in second place. New Member and Teddy Davies now going to the front. New Member has the lead. Investor is making up ground with Colin Smith up. Investor trying to get there. New Member trying to hold him off. New Member on top. Investor saving ground on the inside and making up some ground. And here they come. It's New Member and Investor. About a neck between those two. New Member, Investor, On a Rock, and True Calling.
And the Brown Advisory official results show that the number 7 New Member was the winner under Teddy Davis for Armada Stables and trainer Jack Fisher. In second was the 3-year-old filly Investor for Doug Fout with Colin Smith on board. And in third was On a Rock. Neil Morris trained the Noble Stables entry with Brett Owings in the saddle. Joe, any final thoughts on the 9th race? Did you see anything that stood out here for you?
No, I don't think so. New Member would certainly benefit from that, like we talked about, as to wherever he shows up over hurdles next time. He's also probably a cool ride for a young rider like Teddy Davies to get on. Very seasoned horse, knows exactly what to do, knows his job, and did it well there. Investor, wherever she shows up next. I mean, 3-year-old filly, I can't imagine maybe they would run her over jumps. I'm not sure whether she goes back to the flat. Again, that would serve her well. And On a Rock ran well. I would think you'd see him in a maiden hurdle race at some point, and that was a pretty good educational experience there for those 3.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to seeing where some of those younger horses run. And of course, New Member, as you mentioned, later this season. By the way, we do have a lot of racing coming up for the next few weekends. We are following along on the National Steeplechase Association autumn schedule. We've got the races coming up next weekend at Willowdale Steeplechase. It is a point-to-point other than the NSA-sanctioned $10,000 Patty Nelson Memorial. It's the inaugural running of this timber race for the apprentice riders. Joe, that's got a $10,000 purse on it. What can we expect from that race and the history behind Patty Nelson in general?
Yeah, it's kind of a fun tribute. They tried to do it at the Cheshire Point to Point and a couple other stops this spring. Obviously, that didn't happen, and to get to do it at Willowdale is cool. And it does, as we've touched on all year, really, on the opportunity for apprentice riders. And Patty would love that. I think he's the grandfather of a couple who will get some chances out there. With it's still kind of cool to honor his memory and give some apprentice riders a chance over a place like Willowdale. I wonder if you might see McLean Hendricks come right back with his horse and take a shot in there, or some of these other guys. We'll see. But a cool opportunity. Willowdale, not NSA sanctioned, mostly because of some of the whole meet's not anyway, mostly because of some of the restrictions. So they can't have the spectators or the big sold out tailgate spaces they would normally have. So they're going to have a point to point. Again, they were supposed to run this spring, but it's kind of cool that they're having something and to keep some opportunities going for horses. This is all about build opportunity, whatever opportunities you can give people now and horses now, and then build toward next year or later this year.
Always a good thing to see. And then we also have the International Gold Cup after that, followed by the Pennsylvania Hunt Cup, and then Steeplechase at Callaway in Pine Mountain, Georgia, and the Steeplechase of Charleston, which both those last 2 meets do allow for spectators. So if you're in the area and you want to attend, please go to their websites and look at the opportunity to either sponsor or buy tickets for those races. Of course, you can follow us along at National Steeplechase Association. And we're done. The day at Middleburg has been concluded. It's been a great day of racing. And we look forward to seeing all of you on the next live stream broadcast. Thank you very much to the Alliance production team, Al Griffin and everybody at the National Steeplechase Association, all the team that make up the Middleburg races, as well as the team at Glenwood Park. Thanks to all of you for joining us. We'll see you in the future. Take care and be healthy.